up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers?
Never done an Elton John impression.
Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag.
I love the glasses.
How does he sing? I don't know.
Right here on Pub Sports Radio.
I'm still standing better than I ever did. I can't do Elton John. I don't know how he sings.
God damn! Needed that night last night. I needed it very badly. Good thing about this show, probably the best thing about this show, is it's not about me, it's about us. And we are succeeding.
I thought I was special, honestly. I thought there was only like 5. I thought we were only bringing like the select few, like elite cappers. Needless to know, we have 10 cappers.
All right, big night tonight on NFL Pub Hub. God damn, I need confidence. There's lots of time left. There's lots of capping to do. All I want to do is cap with you guys. If capping can bring me the kind of joy that it brought me last night, God damn, it felt so good!
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. This is a Loshak in the Bag show. That was an interesting new intro to the show. I'm not exactly sure. I like it. I like it. It's my weird, bad, random Elton John non-impression from like 2 months ago is prominently featured, which is an interesting choice. We'll talk about, though. We're going to have a good show today, even though I don't have any caffeine with me today. I can't find my fucking caffeine pills or coffee or anything, but we're going to have a good show anyway. Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. He's Jimmy the Bag. I'm Peter Loshak. I'm a little snake bit in baseball recently, Jimmy the Bag, a little bit off my game. It might have been COVID related. I don't know. I was definitely a little bit fatigued, continued to cap and bet anyway, and it didn't quite go well. I'm not sure. Maybe I should have just taken it all off when I had COVID. Usually this is a good time of year for me. Right now, I'm a little bit, I feel a little bit uncertain, a little bit snake bit. Today we have some interesting situations. Alex Manoah is no longer the absolute stud that he is, right? We got Verlander going up against Cease. That's an interesting game. We got the Yankees, who are like 2-12 in their last 14 or whatever. It's an interesting time of year, Jimmy the Bag. How you doing, Jim? I know you're gearing up for football, right? What's up with Jimmy the Bag these days?
Well, I'm moving out of Parkdale.
Oh, nice.
Fucking Parkdale. That's happening. It's in the process, so we'll be... they don't trust my income, by the way.
Yeah,
they don't trust my income.
They don't, huh? Do they know that you follow Sports Insights betting recommendations on possible half and full line value? Tell them that. That might help out a little bit.
No, they want a year up front in cash.
Oh shit! It's a tough world, Jimmy the Bag.
It's
year up front in cash.
It's all good. It's all good. You know, it's all good. It's all good. But, they don't. I guess I'm not the trustworthy guy that I feel like I am, Pete. But I'm very excited about the football season coming up. And as I said, we have major announcements. We'll start rolling off one major announcement a day. We'll start one major announcement every single day. And, and then this isn't necessarily in order of excitement, but this is very, very exciting. So we'll give you guys all a big shout out here in a second. But first, let's talk about our major announcement. We at Pop Sports Radio are doing our own super contest. Our own super contest called the Cappers.
Oh, shit.
Right there. The Cappers contest. And $100 entry fee. We will all be competing against each other. And this coincides with our entry into the Circa Millions. Jeff is putting an entry in for us as a group into the Circa Millions contest. So every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern, Jose Bouquet and myself will host a show where we go over the leaders of the Cappers contest, who's close to getting that cash, and we will together select our 5 picks for the Circa Millions. They will coincide together. Jose, do you want to jump on and explain some of these rules and some of these the situation that we have in front of us, my man?
Lovely. Of course I will. Well, shout outs first of all to the Cappers contest. Just like with the regular, I can't say that word because it's trademarked, but the contest that they do in Las Vegas, just like there, you've got 5 picks every week. You can see when they lock, when the spreads lock right there. If you go to pubsportsradio.com, You buy yourself that little ticket right there that you see on the website right there. I will even scroll the website for you. If you just scroll down, you see Liam and Clint here going at it. That will be us. And then you scroll down. Obviously, you got the plays and such here. If you never looked at the Pub Sports Radio website, here it is. Buy me a coffee link right there as well. But you go right here. You just hit add a cart. You buy the little ticket right there. And after you buy the ticket, you'll get an email with a link and a specific password for you to log in, make your picks, and all that good jam. So that'll be a lot of fun. All the rules are on the website right there. We'll be posting the rules as well. $500 entry fee, 5 picks.
$100.
Yes, $100 entry fee, 5 picks. Sorry, Pete. I know I got you sweating over there.
I'm like a heart attack here. $500.
But $100. And then we will obviously the determination of who wins and how much money they get will become when it gets closer to the end of the season. But we'll obviously be playing for cash prizes and stuff like that. So it will be a whole lot of fun this football season. And like Jimmy said, we're hosting the show. Don't know what day that is. I forgot already what day we're going to do it.
Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern.
There you go.
And we will go over leaders. And every cent, other than there's a tiny fee that goes into for the credit card to come in. Other than that, there's not Pub's not taking 1 cent. Every single cent that's put in will go into the prizes. So every cent that's put in will go into the prizes, and we all get to cap against each other and toast the victors and roast the losers. So there it is.
I'm ready to get roasted.
The Cappers contest at Pub Sports Radio, the first ever, and of course we'll have a giant trophy for the winner that will be put in a glass case down at the Southtown 101. And, we'll see who can get that cash. And there'll be a lot of cash available.
It'll be great. It'll be a lot of fun, the Cappers contest. And more announcements to come, like Jimmy's saying. This is just one little taste of the announcements. So
we should also tell them the second part of the Cappers contest, right? Should we? I think
sure.
So. Yes.
Sure.
It coincides, of course, with a survivor pool. We're doing a Pub Sports Radio survivor pool, also $100 a pop. Right there, 1 pick per week sports survivor pool there to see if you can beat. There's going to be a ton of cash up for grabs with both of these. So, Johnny Guns, there's no max amount of participants for either, but there's only 1 entry per person. You can't make dual or multiple entries. So that's exciting. So those are our first big announcements. We're having a Cappers contest, 5 picks against the spread each week, and a survivor contest where we get the cap all together. There you have it. And we'll be talking about that a ton. Thank you, Jose Bouquet. This is very exciting. So all you have to do is go to pubsportsradio.com to sign up. Pubsportsradio.com to sign up. We'll be talking about it a lot. We'll be talking about a lot.
Yeah. And by the way, here's another announcement I'm not ready to announce yet. But Pete, first of all, I need you to check your Twitter DMs. That would be very helpful to my case. And second of all,
there's something toxic in there? What happened?
There's going to be toxic shit if you don't check your DMs.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'll check it.
But I'm also excited for another event, another little video show thing we're doing here soon. Going to be involving all your favorite Pub Sports personalities. More competitions, more fun. And I'm very excited about it because this is a me thing. I'm doing all the legwork on it. Shout out to my guy Preston as well, helping me as well with the shit. So it'll be a lot of fun. More announcements to come here soon.
Yes, we have major announcements coming up. Tons of stuff. But that's the first one. We'll do an announcement every single day until the football season starts. Very, very excited about all this. So we have the Cappers contest and a survivor pool, all at pubsportsradio.com. Shout out to all the Cappers in the chat. We got Vipe in the house. Says, what up, fam? 2-0 yesterday, nice and easy on the Red Sox money line, -130. There's J Dub in the house. Stella Girl, Larry Garr, Bruce Shad, LJ from H-Town already making moves. Astros -0.5, first 5 +120. Diamondbacks first 5 at +105. That was my whole plan today, was to be on the Diamondbacks, but seeing 80% of the cash on the Diamondbacks and the market moving towards the Giants is very, very unsettling. Dodgers first 5 money line. I've been waiting for more bets on the Dodgers so I can get the Brewers at a better price. I don't think I want the Brewers first 5 at -130. Cubs team total over 2.5, first 5. It's so funny, Pete. Whenever I come in with expectations of what to bet, I'd say 80% of the time the market gets me off of those bets. And you know that in the past I would have already made those bets. And I would have come in and just told everybody about the bets. But now I sit back and I'm patient. So Cubs team total over. I've got all of LJ's action here written down. LJ in the house. We got Johnny Gunn says, good to see you, fellas. How was the aquarium? Jimmy, the aquarium was excellent. The kids loved it. Thank you for asking, Johnny, my guy. We did lose the pick 6 in the first race, the mandatory payout pick 6, though, which took a little bit of the fun away from the aquarium, as it kind of would seep through my disappointment. AJ 1337, Billy Friedrich, Nut Flush, Allen, Mike M, Art Hayes, Bubbarito, Don Play, Rodney Barton, Bananas Grapes, Chris 1, Red Girl Saturated says Balky's birthday parlay fell apart on me yesterday. I demand a refund.
I hit my parlay yesterday. Saturated, what are you doing? What'd you bet? Come on, Saturated.
Was it your birthday yesterday?
No.
Oh,
it's his birthday.
Oh, it was Saturated. Of course, Saturated's birthday. Yes, and there's people, cappers here who had birthdays on Sunday and Monday who were gonna wait for your birthday picks on today, Pete. So that'll be coming up. Happy belated Saturated. I hope you had a great day. Diehard MMA podcast in the house. Been Vipe Troy Torrance said, I was here on Friday preaching Cardinals versus Brewers. I'm back to tell you Cards will dominate once again today. Run line and double result for me. Pay the premium. You won't regret it. Troy Torrance. I'm going to copy. Well, I mean, this is a bit of a different situation because the Rockies don't hit lefties anymore. The Rockies now, all my stats today and moving forward, I think it's the right time, will be last 30 days. So last 30 days, Cardinals have a 900 OPS versus lefties. The Rockies have a 6 something. So it's a little different than when we thought the Brewers had value on Friday with Lauer, and they were hitting lefties above average, where the Rockies are below average. But I like your confidence, Troy. There's Jay Peasy in the house. Jay Peasy, we still have your song locked in. Right now, on Tuesdays, it's going to close the show, but it'll still be the opener. We love it. So don't think that we don't love your intro song. We're just trying something new here. Billy Friedrich loves the Akron Zips over 2.5 wins this season. You can still find it at plus money. I will copy and paste that. A lot of work to do. Pete, are you ready to attack? You said you feel a little snake bit, and we can play that on COVID.
Yeah, just a little bit weird. And when you read all the names of the people in the comment section, and then I juxtapose that next to the contests that are going on, I'm like, man, I'm going to get crushed. I'm going to be in the contest anyway. But there's a lot of pressure, man. I'm just looking not to embarrass myself. It's a great idea, these contests. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of pressure, though. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
Well, yeah. I don't know if there's a lot of pressure.
No,
I don't think so.
When you're bottom 15% in one of those contests, come back to me again and tell me it's like, if
you are bottom 10%,
that's bad.
Then that person. But I mean, that can happen.
What are the chances?
I'm here to take that bottom 15%, Pete. Don't you worry about that. I got you, Pete. And by the way, there should be more pressure on the other thing that I DM'd you about. There's a lot more pressure on that. So
okay. All right.
You should be a lot more nervous and excited about that.
Okay.
Just football picks. Pete.
Yeah.
Football picks. You've got that in your locker.
I was just kidding.
Pete Loshak.
All right. Well, it's fun. I'm super happy Pub Sports Radio is doing it. It's fun and pressure-filled at the same time.
Yes, it's going to be very, very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. My MLB is going good. There was very little change to my record last week. It kind of just stayed exactly where it was. Right now, I sent it to Jose. I'm 239 and 213, 52.9% plus 6.85 units.
That's fine, Jimmy the Bag. Huge sample size, having fun with it, positive units. Good for you, Jim.
My unit size would have to be about $15,000 to make a living off of it. So I mean, there's something to be said about keeping your head above water, and we're always going to be honest and transparent with our action. But as we talked about, it's pretty saturated. It's not happy. He's not happy, Jose. You ruined his birthday.
I'm sorry,
All right.
Saturated. Saturated. What I've learned, Saturated does not watch the whole way. They'll show the whole way through, and that's what hurt me. So my birthday, September 4th, is already ruined too. Saturated. It's all right. But I still love it.
It goes to show, maybe you need to focus on just this man's picks.
Hey, man, you guys are changing up all the intros, change up this and that. Can I put in a request? Can we change that? Can I put that somewhere in the queue of shit that needs to be changed? I mean, look, it's funny. It's funny, but at some point, just have me look a little less whacked out and maniacal. I don't look like that.
Pete? Are you sure you want me to change it?
We'll talk on Twitter DMs about it. We'll talk about it. We'll come up with something fat.
All right. I'm excited. Right here. Inject it for me.
Troy Torrance, I'm with you. I switch it up depending on where we are in this season. But I like more sample size. I prefer. I do not want the 7 days. I just don't think that's helpful, really. I need more, and I always lean towards having more sample size. It's a tricky question. Pete,
all right. Jimmy the Bag, let's start it off with AOD's quote. Jose, we love you. Loshak, we love you. Jimmy, we love you. Thank you very much, AOD. Let's get into MLB. What do you think, Jim?
Let's do it right now. There's Dennis Garcia in the house. Sunny Springs says, love the White Sox today. Jacksonville Zoe says, please let us know when your unit size is $15,000. I dream of having a unit size first of $500, then of $1,000. Those are I want 500. Then I want to hit 1,000, then 5,000. Then I'd be pretty comfortable at 5,000. I don't think if I could ever get it up there, I don't think I'd need to move much more than that. Let's get to work right now. We begin at 6:40 p.m. Eastern. The Philadelphia Phillies, 64-51, 32-25 on the road at the Cincinnati Reds, 45-69, 25-35 at home. We're at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. Let's start with the line history in this one. The Phillies had 10-cent move towards them, minus 175 to minus 185. And this total has had a 20-cent move at Bet365 to the under. Opened up at 9.5 to the under, plus 100. Now it's at minus 120. So we have 6,670 tickets in here. And 92% of the tickets and 92% of the cash is on the Phillies. 43% of tickets and 83% cash is on the over. 92% of tickets and cash and just a 10-cent move over to the Philadelphia Phillies is interesting. I'll pull up the weather here in a second, but let's talk about Kyle Gibson, who's not been good on the road this year. 1-2, 4.73 ERA, 254 opponents batting average. He's been much better of late. His last start, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 3 Ks, 2 walks, and a 3-0 loss at home versus the Marlins. 1.18 whip on the year, 91 Ks and 121 in the third. Going up against TJ Zoik, the big disappointment in the Toronto Blue Jay system, first-round pick, 21st overall in 2016 out of the University of Pittsburgh. He's looked bad in AAA this year. Combined rookie ball, AAA, mostly AAA, 0-5, 6.70 ERA, 1.77 whip. He came in to the show and lost 10-2 at the Mets in his first start of the year. Looked terrible, 4 innings, 6 earned runs. I'm not sure why this would be any different, but with 92% of cash on the Phillies and only a 10-cent move towards them, I don't want the Phillies. Phillies versus righties last 30 days, just 246, 696 OPS. A little bit better than the Reds, who are 246, 686 OPS. This Phillies bullpen over the last 30 days has been bad. 4.84 ERA, 1.39 whip. Reds bullpen, on the other hand, has been very good. 2.79 ERA, 1.22 whip. Take it away here, Pistol Pete Loshak, Phillies Reds.
Okay. First of all, shout out to the entire comment section. I love you all. So many great comments. I'm copying and pasting comments about games that I'll refer to later. But just a great fucking group of people. Shout out to all of you. Don't have time to single out all the people who I love in the comment section. But if you're in the comment section, I love you. All right, Jimmy the Bag. This is Zoik is you're right. He was not good in AAA, but capable of the odd, 10 strikeout shutouts appearance, both in AAA and in the majors. That's going to happen like 20% of the time. I haven't bet this one yet. I want to pull the trigger on Philly -1. Haven't done it yet. If this were earlier in the baseball season where I was kind of cruising and doing well and gaining units every day and every week, I would have just no-brainer took a small shot at least with Philly -1. But I'm being more conservative right now. Haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. It is Cincinnati is out. Gibson is generally solid. Cincinnati, of course, in general, not very good. And Philly coming off a win after 2 straight shutout losses. So this is probably a very good spot for them. I don't love taking these kinds of favorite lines, despite what Jose Bouquet might think and despite what I've displayed in this show over the past year. But, if you gave me a free play, I probably will have a small play on Philly -1 here. Zoik is probably going to struggle again. Gibson should be solid. And, one way or another, Philly more likely than not, I think, comes out with a win. Yesterday, though, it was tougher. I did have Philly first 5 team total over, but that was a little bit close. They didn't crush Minor like I would have expected. And I might pass on this one. That's my take on this game, Jim.
It is tricky. Now, Matty Ice has come in with his taint play of the day. He's on the Phillies run line -115. Yeah. The Phillies run line is taint. Well, now that he's on it, I guess it makes it quite a bit more appealing. We also have the spreadsheet play today which we will talk about in about 6 games here. But right now, taint is in. It's on the Phillies -1.5. I'm with Rob Free. I think Rob kind of nailed my feeling here. He said it's a Philly spot, but Kyle cannot be trusted, though. And I agree with that on the road, that Kyle cannot be trusted. And when I think of Kyle Gibson, I don't automatically think of the 8 innings of, no-hit ball at home a few starts ago. I think of him being very susceptible and tricky and not consistent.
Chris 1 likes Reds in the under, so that means he's expecting a good start from Zoik, and then probably the Philly team total under he would think is a great bet. Probably going to be a stay away from me.
It's not a place of comfort for me. Interesting that you have 92% of cash on the Phillies, just a 10-cent move towards them. You have 83% of cash on the over, and it's moved 20 cents to the under. Jay Peasy says Phillies haven't hit a home run in a while. I didn't get a chance to. It was another day. I was so caught up in my capping and figuring out what to do. Did Jay Peasy drop a little video this morning to get the day started? Let me do a quick check. Okay, no, he's been relaxing, Comax and relaxed. I just don't want to miss it. I love our man Jay Peasy so much. Okay, well, no action from us, but the taint play of the day is in. And let me just make sure I've copied and pasted that properly. Here we go, right inside the game. All right, well, let's move on. Oh, but I did not talk about the weather, and I apologize for that. Let me get that up here right now. Here we go. The weather in Cincy is, all right, take 1 second. Here we go. 81 Fahrenheit, rain and humid to start it out. 11.4 miles per hour right to left. The rain goes away. 26% precipitation off the top, and then it dies down to 6% by the end of the game. So this game might be pushed a tiny bit. Oh fuck! I'm looking at the sorry, my bad. Jesus, shake my head. 82 Fahrenheit, 8.3 miles per hour left to right, down to 6.5. So I apologize for that. All right, it's first game of a new week. I was a little sloppy there. Let's go on to the next spot. San Diego Padres 65-53, 32-29 on the road at the Miami Marlins 51-65, 24-32 at home. We're at loanDepot Park in Miami, Florida. Now, I must preface this with I have knowledge that the man that is making unders great again. Nobody knows, likes the under in this game. This was a spot that jumped out at him. And he looked at the entire card, and he's such a spectacular capper. He doesn't go right to Verlander, Cease, or these spectacular pitchers on the mound. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing that because there are some great pitchers on the mound, but he goes right to a Miami Marlins team that simply isn't hitting and isn't hitting lefties. Over the last 30 days, 194 average with a 544 OPS. They are not hitting. Joe Yurkovich has Edward Cabrera earned runs under 2.5. Noli thinks it's a perfect combination of a team that's not hitting lefties and Edward Cabrera capable of shutting down, or slowing down this Padres squad, because Cabrera's looked so good. Look at that last 3-0 win at the Phillies, 5 2/3, 3 hits, no earned runs, 6 Ks, 2 walks. That was going up against Gibson in that start. Nice opportunity here. Minaya, though, can you trust him? And Noli thinks that the Marlins bats are so weak that this is a bounce-back spot for him. There is Ixnizzle, his son Kian's 3rd birthday today, by the way. Pistol Pete, he is interested in a birthday pick from you, although I won't play the video again that you dislike.
No,
we love it.
I'm just saying, if we're doing upgrades here, segment upgrade, intro upgrades, I just want that to be in the queue somehow, somewhere in the queue. You know what I'm saying, Jimmy the Bag? Yeah, no, of course. And I will say this, I've had some I've had some ups and downs this year, and in the show, ups and downs in the show. But the birthday picks have remained solid, including last week, Jimmy the Bag. You know that, right, Jim?
I certainly do. And we're very proud of your birthday.
Shout out to Big Schnizzle.
Let's take a look at the line history in this one. Opens up -155, now -150, a 5-cent move to the Marlins. From a total perspective, it opened up at 7.5, quickly moved to 7. It lasted 7.5 for an hour and 50 minutes. That was also predicted by Noli Knows, was that it would open up at 7.5 and would last there for a very short amount of time before it went down to 7. It is +105 to the under. I know a guy like Hunter Engelhart would prefer under 7 at +105 rather than under 7.5 at -120. Let's go over to the cash and see what we're dealing with. We have full line value. The only spot, there's 2. The Pittsburgh Pirates at home, also full line value, Pete. The Marlins here at home, full line value, according to Sports Insight, 6,973 tickets in. 39% of the tickets, 73% of the cash on the Marlins. 47% of the tickets and 65% of the cash on this over. This is a tricky spot. Padres versus righties last 30 days, 264, 793 OPS. Padres bullpen the last 30 days, 3.61 ERA, 1.37 whip, while the Marlins bullpen's been very good, 3.45 ERA, 1.32 whip. Shout out to BT in the house. Take it away here, Pistol Pete, Padres, Marlins.
Well, again, I'm a little bit shaky in terms of MLB right now, although the no-brainer stuff like Alcantara yesterday has been solid as ever. This one, it's not a no-brainer, but Cabrera, of course, control issues and doesn't go deep, but when he's on, he's on. So as a dog, I did take shots with Miami first 3 and first 5. I understand that in general they're a shitty offensive team, but if they're going to hit anyone, it's going to be Minaya. Minaya, is okay, and I don't hate a play on the under, but he's just vulnerable against any major league team. Miami is a major league team, and Minaya is vulnerable. My note here is vulnerable. Can Miami take advantage? They should be able to. Cabrera, of course, is not going to keep being that awesome start in and start out. But is this the spot where he gets a speed bump? I don't love the fact that Padres are off a shutout loss again, but you are getting a dog line. So I took shots with Miami first 3 and first 5 on my personal betting accounts. I don't know if I want to make that official here, but I did bet it on Cabrera, more likely than not to have another strong start. Minaya, more likely than not to be a guy that Miami can get to if they can get to anyone. That's what I did, Jim.
Yeah, I think this makes sense to me. What up, Keith Wick saying fade Minaya. Justin Bilbo in the house as well. Great to see you, Justin. He coming to us live from Germany right now, Pete. And Sammy Culmer says, I've shut down MLB until the postseason. Tuning in as much as I can to support and interact. Interesting, Sammy.
Yeah.
Interesting. And interesting. Bananas and grapes like the Minaya under. Oh, no, saying Minaya under or over K-prop. Looking at the K-prop, sorry. And Leonard Porsche says, I don't like when Minaya is doing lately. And
Nutflush Allen says, when I see the birthday video, it's a mix between Mr. Rogers and Chuck E. Cheese. That pretty much, all I want is an intro that doesn't seem like a mix of Mr. Rogers and Chuck E. Cheese. Is that too much to ask? Maybe it is. I'm low on the totem pole here. I understand that. Shout out to Nutflush Allen.
These bullpens have been very good, but I'm surprised that this total's gone to 7, and you can get a really nice price on the under 4.
Why do these friggin' betting markets have to be so tight, Jimmy the Bag?
Well, I can understand the
Why?
look on both the Marlins first 5 and the under. I do understand what Noli's whole plan was. He waited for the market to drop to 7.5, moved on to 7.5. Now that it's at 7, I find that first 5 at 4 more appealing than the full game at 7. What do you find more appealing in the total perspective, even though these bullpens have both been quite good lately?
What was the question, Jim? I'm sorry.
What would you prefer, a first 5 under 4 at plus money, or a first or full game under 7 at plus money?
I think I'd honestly prefer the full game under, because I don't necessarily trust Minaya. It's a hitter-unfriendly park. I'd probably take the under. All right, Jim. Oh God, I can so see Soto hitting like a 3-run homer in the second inning off of Cabrera or whatever, but I can't not do it. I'll make Miami first 3 at plus 115 an official play. Probably a loser, but let's do it.
Loshak, Marlins.
We're having fun here.
3 at plus 115 here. I lean towards. No, I agree with what Rob is saying and with Joe. Actually, Joe says one thing I hate about close games and the unders extra innings. No doubt about that. Rob Free says Giants were not playing well offensively. They lit up Minaya. That dude can't be trusted.
Yeah, right. It's a situation where even if Soto does hit a 3-run homer off Cabrera, it wouldn't be unthinkable for someone on Miami to hit a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 3rd off Minaya to give me a push.
And Saturated said, when was the last time the Marlins got over 3 runs? And Nutflush says Saturated is on the perfect track.
Mm-hmm.
Connect the dots there. Marlins team total under going to be on Nutflush Allen's card here.
Wow, really? Okay.
Well, I mean, if I'm just connecting the dots, he's not saying that. But if Saturated is on the perfect track with his comment. Rob Free says, but that dude can't be trusted, yes. And then Vibe says, Minaya can get rocked at any time. Total seems trappy to me. All right. I think that this is a spot where I'm going to move on both Marlins first 5 and the first 5 under. I just don't see 5 runs. 5 runs in the first 5 innings. I find that pretty tough to believe here. Leonard says might be a reach, but I think Marlins can get over 1.5 in the first 5. All right. And Woo Rizza says Marlins have really struggled versus some not so good left-handed pitchers. I agree. Okay.
Stella Girl saying race to 5, neither at plus 145 is interesting. At Caesars, I'm seeing plus 116, but that is an interesting way to think about this.
Stella Girl has 14 books, Pete.
Okay.
So Stella Girl is not messing around.
Yeah.
14 different books. I believe he's in Colorado, I would like to say, but he's a great capper, being a huge asset. Millsy says Tim Horton coffee or a Diet Coke. Well, it depends if you're pouring Kraken in it. I mean, I've cut all Diet Coke out of my life unless I'm pouring Kraken in it. That's my rule.
I have no caffeine here. I'm like a fucking Parkdale junkie. I'm going to boil some of this extra strength Excedrin down just to extract the caffeine, Jimmy the Bag. Where are my fucking caffeine pills or coffee?
There have been some mental health nightmares outside our balcony of late. Okay, let's move on. So Loshak's moved on the Marlins first 3 plus 115.
That's a terrible pick, by the way, but I had to give it.
I like Bo Jackson likes Jameson in his Timmy's. Yeah, there's Jameson can't go wrong at all. First 5 and first 5 under, I expect to be on my card here. All right. And that was a point bet line from Stella Girl. And yes, Colorado. I respect Stella Girl's great guy, being a great asset to the show. Okay, let's move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. The Boston Red Sox 57-59, 28-29 on the road to the Pittsburgh Pirates 45-70, 24-29 at home. We have the 2 spots that Sports Insights gives full line value back to back. We just talked about the Marlins at home. Now it's the Pittsburgh Pirates' turn. We're at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We have the weather in Pittsburgh is 75 Fahrenheit, 6.5 miles per hour in, 6.5 to 7.3 miles per hour. We have a couple things happening here. First off, we have Helen Mitch Keller on the hill. And Helen Mitch Keller has not produced a victory at home, but it's been pretty good. 4.30 ERA, 271 opponent's batting average. Coming off a decent start at Arizona, 5 1/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 Ks, 1 walk. We also have a situation where Jose Bouquet may want to raise it, and he may want to back his Buccos. He was on a wild run with the Buccos, and then he got off the Buccos train. Let's bring him back to the show because his Red Sox are facing his Pirates. Your two teams are battling here. I see that you have a Red Sox jersey on.
I do, yes.
Rocking a Red Sox jersey.
I mean, it was a great weekend, Jim. We took down the alleged best team in baseball. I mean, how could you not celebrate when you take down the greatest franchise since sliced bread?
You seem a little bit upset. I can see it. I can hear it. Even though your team won a couple games, the record still is.
I'm not upset, Jim. I will say this. I did make a wager on Say Hey Plays, Jim. And it's interesting because of course it involves the New York Yankees. I bet that the Yankees would not win the World Series, and that's an easy thing for me to do.
Sure.
And my consequence if I lose, if they win, there will be tomatoes thrown at me, and I'll be put in a dunk tank. How about we just show the video?
If the Yankees were to win the World Series this year, and I'll say this confidently, we can clip this. If the Yankees win the World Series this year, I'll sit down in front of a nice little tarp, $5 for 3 tomatoes. We'll give it all to charity. You can fucking throw tomatoes at me. No fucking problem. No fucking problem.
No fucking problem.
Wow.
Yep. So we will. That is in the cards. That is scheduled. Very excited for it. The Yankees lose party. I've got it marked down on my calendar since the World Series and the ALCS and LCS. All those dates were released, so I have it scheduled already on my calendar. It's going to be a fun time. But I'll say this: we're here to talk Red Sox. I would not be backing them in this instance. In this game, I think this has a letdown spot written all over it. We have had this occasion before. I forgot who it was they played before the Royals series, but they, go into a team they should take 3 out of 4 in, and they lose 3 out of 4 to a shit team. So I honestly would not be surprised, even in the slightest, if the Red Sox were to go out there and lose this game. Minus 145 is excessive. The reason why they beat the Yankees is because the bullpen was phenomenal. And I don't know if that's going to last. I don't think that's going to last very long. So the offense wasn't working. So ultimately, I would go with Pete's theory of the Pirates at home are a good bet at all times.
Well, we have a couple things before we head over to Pistol Pete. One, Schnizzle says the Pirates with the day off, one of the worst teams in the league. Rob Free gives us a number. Pirates are 2-13 this year after having a day off. He is on Boston here. That Red Sox bullpen still has a 6.73 ERA, 1.39 whip over their last 30 days. They've been ugly. Viper says Mitch Keller's an auto fade. Red Sox minus 130 was an easy bet for me. Slick Nick Pivetta coming off an 8-4 loss at home versus Braves. Tough team to play against. Still the quality start. 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, 2 walks. 239 opponents batting average on the road, 4.50 ERA. And the Red Sox versus righties the last 30 days, 241, 693 OPS, while the Pirates are 226, 626 OPS. The biggest difference between the two teams is the Pirates bullpen has been quite good over the last 30 days. 3.34 ERA, 1.35 whip. Let's just do a quick line history look and then hand it over to Pete and see what he has to say about this Red Sox Pirates spot. We have no market movement at all. Boston opened up at minus 140. They're still at minus 140. And just a 5-cent move to the under. So very little movement. When we go to this spot with full line value, we have 32% of the tickets and 61% of the cash on Pittsburgh. 67% of the tickets on the under. Pete, do you think that 2-13 record after a day off holds weight?
A little bit. I mean, I think that's more just because they just in general have sucked royally for most of the year. But yeah, I mean, I think it matters. I bet the under on the overnight line and got a pretty good number. I got like minus 103, and now it's gotten bet down a little bit. I was a little bit surprised. I guess I'm not that surprised considering the overall year-long stats of both starters. So I guess the total did make sense to me. I bet the under, and I did take a small shot with Pittsburgh early, first 3 and first 5. And I haven't bet it yet, but I'd be leaning Boston team total under as well. If Boston does win, wouldn't be surprised if it's a 4-2 type win and the under 4.5 cashes anyway. Those are all bets that I've made or things that I'm thinking about. Yeah, Keller makes me nervous for an under. So does Pavetta. Pittsburgh makes me nervous for a bet. But Boston, they won a bunch of games against the Yankees, sure. This is still not a particularly formidable team.
Not an impressive win when it's a bad ball club, Pete. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Don't
exactly. I mean, who do they? I mean, they beat the Yankees. Fucking, the Yankees are who's better, who's worse right now? The Yankees or Pittsburgh? I don't know. Kind of even, So I bet the under. If it loses, I'll be okay with it. It's treacherous considering these the starters, but I bet the under. I also bet Pittsburgh small first 5 and first 3, also treacherous, and I'd be leaning Boston team total under. Okay.
I lean towards the Pirates here. They've been so helpful to me at home.
This is probably my second awful pick of the show, but we'll make the under 8.5 at minus 107 an official play. That's current line at Pinnacle.
That would be a good gambling show name, the Awful Gambling Show. I can see it. The Awful Gambling Show.
You want to talk ideas? Let's talk on DMs on Twitter, Jose Bouquet. I'll come up with some sick shit. Some
all
sick ideas.
They're open right now. I'm looking at it. Waiting for your message.
Hell yeah.
These stories getting worse and worse and worse and fucking worse. It's so funny when people make a mistake. They don't just say, "Look, I screwed up." I tried to skip a step.
I'll be honest. When me and my close personal friend Fernando Tatis were rubbing elbows in the dugout when he was in Double-A, he was significantly skinnier, and then the next year he was just suddenly jacked.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that makes sense now.
That would be a pretty good betting show. A betting show where all the guests and cappers in the show go on clenbuterol just to see what happens.
Pete, I'm down if you're down.
What?
I'm down if you're down, Pete.
I'm down. Propose that. Clenbuterol. All the cappers on clenbuterol. See if it changes anything.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking out of the box here. Creativity in this head right here. I know Tatis is just 22 years old, but we saw what happened to Ryan Braun after he got popped, and it sucks. Sucks for Padres fans. It sucks for baseball fans, and it sucks for the Padres ownership that just gave him $340 million. Just sucks all the way around.
I agree. By the way, just for a little perspective, I'm 3 years older than Tatis. Just some perspective there. For everyone thinks that I'm the baby of this group, I'm 3 years older. If he's 22, I'm 3 years older than Tatis.
Mind-blowing fact of the show. Hands down. Winner.
I like the Pirates full game here. And,
are you going to get there?
I'm not sure. I think I keep thinking of that 2-13 record off the day off. Do you think that the Red Sox carry momentum after the Yankees series, or are the Pirates again a value spot at home?
If the Red Sox win 3 out of 4 in Pittsburgh here, or whatever it is, I'll be saying some very reckless shit at the end of the series. I'm just gonna let you guys know that now. But truthfully, I really think this Red Sox team's been mediocre all year, and I'm trying to not be biased here for once. And it was close games against the Yankees every time. All 3 of those games were close, and they were all low-scoring affairs. The Red Sox offense is just not there. They've got the best hitter in baseball, Tommy Pham, going right now, but that's all we've got, really. And it's kind of tough. Obviously, Rafael Devers won a game by himself, and he's the best player in baseball, obviously, too. But At the end of the day, I just don't believe in this bullpen going from the shittiest bullpen in the second half and this last Yankee series turning into just a pack of goons out there just dominating. Was that the Yankees offense? I think so. I really think so. And I think the Yankees offense is worse right now than the Pittsburgh Pirates offense. Truthfully, my play on this was just a classic Pirates team total over 3.5. Minus 115 for me. I'm still back and forth on it. And truthfully, if I was a better capper and this was any other team, I think I would probably take full game Pirates. This feels kind of like the Astros game yesterday. It's a little higher price, but the Astros were a low favorite, and I was kind of like, that's weird. I bet the White Sox first 5, classic me. I lose that, but the White Sox still end up winning. But yeah, this just feels like a weird spot for the Red Sox, and this feels like a down spot.
Okay, so what was your team total over 3.5 at?
Minus 115.
That's 115.
And by the way, since we're making official plays here, I would also like to make the first 5 under in the Padres game official as well. I like Edward Cabrera very, very much. He has been on fire since the minor leagues. Before he's had I forget what it is now. I don't have all of his starts in front of me. I'll pull them up as I'm speaking. But his last 4 or 5 starts now is since the minor leagues. He has been absolutely incredible. It has been, again, shocking. I'll read them out real quick just because I did it last time. It started on the 16th of last month. So it's been about a month, I guess, now of him rolling. 3 innings, no hits. Next start again, 3 inning, no hits, 7 Ks. 5 innings, 1 hit, 7 Ks. All of these in the minor leagues. And then we're all like, oh, is he going to do it in the majors? Cubs start, 5 innings, no hits, 3 walks, 8 Ks, and then that last start, 5 2/3, 3 hits, 6 Ks, 2 walks. He has been absolutely incredible these last couple of starts, and I'm just going to keep riding the hot hand. I bet the first 5 under in one of those 2 starts. I don't remember which one it is, and it cashed for me, thankfully. And I'm realizing, during this cold streak, or I guess, officially broken last night, the cold streak. So celebrations for me. But during it, I think I was just betting a lot of unders or a lot of overs, excuse me. And it just seems like all these unders are coming in at a high pace. And seeing Noli in the chat definitely was one of the driving forces of getting me to go to the unders. I bet the first 5 under 3 last night in Padres, Marlins. I mean, I was sweating my ass off for fucking 3/4 of those innings. But it cashed 2-0 and we roll on, and I think that's going to be another one of those there in Miami as well. It's just a perfect recipe, good enough pitcher to silence a really good Padres lineup. And then Manaea is going to be made look good by the worst lineup in baseball, the Miami Marlins.
Yeah, I'm right with you. I'm right with you. I will be making the same bet. I got you a plus 100. It's the best I could find. I will check Circa though, but I love the breakdown. I completely agree with you. I want to share something with you, Pete.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why this show is so good.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just pull this up here. Our guy Wine Time Sports joining us here.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw his comment about Milwaukee. I copied and pasted it. I will refer to it when we talk about that game.
This is what he told us about the Twins Angels game on Friday night. He said, my little league buddy Tyler Mahle back, pitching 10 minutes away from our hometown tonight. He just got the news yesterday. He and his wife are expecting a baby boy. Twins first 5, Twins money line over strikeout prop.
Wow.
The
awesome call.
The Twins won 4-0.
Yeah.
Mahle went 6 strong, did not allow a run, only 3 hits, and hit 6 strikeouts, cashed his strikeout prop.
Very, very nice. I was on Minnesota then too, but it was for much worse reasons. It was like, I think they're probably going to win. Okay, I'll bet it. What the hell?
Huge shout out to Wine Time Sports, though. That is
hell yeah.
That is
was there. Everything, and that was the same game. I believe Noli and Michael Orlina were there too, so we had all the juices flowing that day. So shout out to Wine Time.
Fucking hell yeah. Seriously. Shout out to Wine. And thanks for sharing that with us, Wine Time.
It's amazing what children
So
will
much
do
fun.
for you to athletes. I mean, obviously, I'm a child myself, so I've not had one. But Jimmy, is this true? When you have a kid, do you just you're just better at everything?
I remember I was very nervous when my girlfriend got pregnant, and I said to a comic that I look up to, older comic, not much older than me, but really strong older comic, and he said, as soon as your girl gets pregnant, you get that money. He just said, you get that money. Don't worry, you get that money. And within 4 or 5 months of him saying that, I stopped doing stand-up and then moved down to Costa Rica, and it was just something changes in your head. Like you have one single focus, and that's to take care of your family and get that fucking money, and it's so, yeah, it does
Just
something.
like drug addicts, they're like, I need fentanyl. I'm going to find a way to get that money.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Just like
Good
fentanyl.
comparison.
Yeah.
Good
Just
comparison.
just like okay, so Pirates full game, I'm close to. Loshak's on the under 8.5 at -107 in Boston, Pittsburgh.
You know what, Jimmy?
Yeah.
I might give you this next pusher. You know what? Cancel the Pirates team total. I'm just going to move on the Pirates money line with you. If you're not going to move, whatever the case is, I'm going to move on Pirates money line here. This just has flat spot written all over it. Just if the Red Sox win this game, I'll obviously be pleasantly surprised here, but they just lost a series to the Royals a couple days ago, or a week ago now, in this same scenario. Like they win a series, whatever, and then they come off to a team they should smack, and they just fucking lose. So I don't believe in this Red Sox team. I don't think they're a good ball club. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. Obviously, my tone's going to change a whole lot if they take 3 out of 4 here. And the Pirates are good at home. I'm trusting the Pirates, and I'm taking the fucking Pirates today, money line.
You get
Would you rather have Pirates full game or first 5?
Full game, because, again, the Red Sox bullpen is not going to pitch as well as it did in the Yankees series again. It's just fatigue. I know they have the day off, blah, 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 but I don't know. And by the way, my one question, or my one concern here, my biggest concern here, is that I know that Alex Cora knows that it's time to step on the gas. Like, he knows that, and he said in the media, like, it's time to go now. Like, he cannot lose it. They cannot lose any more games. They're already far back. Like, obviously they're going to lose games and such, but they know the urgency is there. Like, he's the best manager in baseball, I think, right there with fucking Kevin Cash and Bob Melvin I don't know if Bob Melvin can be up there anymore, but Bob Melvin's a very good manager himself. He's right up there, and he knows. So I'd be worried about that, but I'm still taking Pirates money line plus 122. Alex doesn't play the games, and he doesn't throw the pitches.
We're getting you a plus 129 over at Penny. I like it.
And
I like it.
Nutflush Allen says Pirates defense was terrible in the San Francisco series.
Stella Girl,
buddy, let me tell you about the fucking Pirates defense. Killed me.
Yeah.
Stella Girl with a small sprinkle on Pittsburgh money line, the under 8.5 together combined at plus 305. I like it. I like all of this. Very interesting. Let's keep rolling. Jose, if you got any other spots you want to jump on, just jump on and let us know anytime. But we have 2 looks from our Jose Bouquet. Pirates at plus 129 and the first 5 under 4 at plus 100 in San Diego, Miami. I will be betting that as well. There's my guy WT in the house. There's poor Avita. Been a long time for Pistol Pete and I.
Chris One likes Red Sox -1, though. Chris Comatini, Red Sox blew their load in the Yankees series.
Yeah, and Lamont Williams' max bet is on the Padres run line. So
wow.
Okay, we're not really all unified on one spot yet, but that is okay. Let's move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Cubs 47-67, 23-33 on the road at Washington Nationals, 39-78, 19-42 at home. Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. Kyle Hintley putting 1,400 on the Sox money line, though. So I guess they got more loads in Kyle's mind. Steele versus Patrick Corbin. I do a lot of things wrong as a capper. One of the things is I just don't, for whatever reason, when everything looks so easy and simple, I don't join everybody. And it's 2 or 3 years ago, I would, of course, be on Corbin immediately, but I started out overthinking things and getting nervous and worried. And here's the possible Joe Yurkovich saying, low-hanging fruit spot against Patrick Corbin.
Yeah.
Patrick Corbin has been much better at home than he's been on the road, but is that saying much? He's a 7.02 ERA, 1.82 whip on the year. His ERA on the road's over 9. At home, he's 3-7 with a 5.17 ERA, 291 opponent's batting average. He just made it through 2/3 of an inning and allowed 6 earned runs, 2 homers at the Phillies. But the Cubs aren't hitting lefties. Last 30 days, 194, 614 OPS. Nats are 246, 707 against lefties, going up against Justin Steele. Justin Steele's been much worse on the road than he's been at home. Overall, he's got 3.63 ERA, 1.41 whip, but at home, 4.71, 261 opponent's batting average. He's coming off allowing just 2 earned runs against these Nats at home. And the Cubs' bullpen's been very good last 30 days. 2.51 ERA, 1.18 whip. Nats bullpen, 4.16 ERA, 1.41 whip. We'll go with the weather here and then hand it over after a quick look at the line. 77 Fahrenheit, 5.6 miles per hour, right to left, slightly in. Then it becomes pretty much just right to left and always between 5 and 5.6 miles per hour. From a line history perspective, we have a 5-cent move to the over and a 10-cent move to the Cubs, minus 155 to minus 165. 10-cent move to the Cubs, 5-cent move to the over. And when we take a look at the cash flow, 7,124 tickets in. 10% of the tickets are on the Nats and 3% of the cash, Pete.
Mm-hmm.
It is by far the lowest spot on the board. The only one that's even close is the Colorado Rockies, who are sitting with 6% of the cash. 3% of the cash there. And from a total perspective, 45% of tickets on the over and 80% of cash on the over. But the market's not moving. Very interesting. Take it away here. Is this a low-hanging fruit, Pete?
No, it's not. And as you know, I've been auto fading Corbin pretty much ever since the first show preseason that I did with Jose Bouquet, where I identified Corbin as a likely auto fade this year, and was shocked that he had any kind of Cy Young Award odds at all. But first of all, they gave him extreme extra rest for this game. He's going to be more geared up for this game than any other game that he's had in recent memory. And if you look at he just gets absolutely crushed by good offenses, but he has had a sprinkling of good starts this year. They've tended to come at home, and they've tended to come against weak offenses. In July, he had an excellent home start against Miami. The start before that, he had an excellent home start against Pittsburgh. Even got 12 strikeouts. So he's had a good start before that, or an okay start, a not horrible start at home against Colorado. Before that, an okay home start against Miami. And I think it's more likely than not that we'll see one of those kind of starts here. So I've been auto fading Corbin on basically team totals and any other way, betting max bets against him for all of his starts against good lineups. This one, because Steele has done so well, and because Washington is also a uninspiring team, although not maybe a little bit undervalued right now. But I did bet small. I couldn't not. I bet I bet the Cubs first 3 and first 5 small, and I'm not going to bet any bigger. I think that this is, and if Corbin does have a good start here, then I didn't check who his next start's going to come against. But if it's against a decent lineup, I will once again be betting on him to get crushed in that start. This one though, and if he does get crushed by the Cubs, okay, great. I'll still win, a little bit. I'll win my small bets, but I didn't go nuts fading Corbin here. Just small bets, fading him a little bit. And that has as much to do with Steele as it does with him. And that's my take on this one. This is not the auto max bet fade of Corbin that most of his games have been so far this year for me. And as you know, Jimmy the Bag, I've done a lot of wrong things this year, but one thing that has definitely saved my season has been fading Minor, fading Corbin, betting on Alcantara, betting on Dylan Cease. And so that's my take on this Pat Corbin start.
Listen to these stats from Stellar Girl. I gave the last 30, which were ugly, but nothing like the last 21 for left-handed pitching. 155 average, 0.85 ISO, 0.85 ISO, 31 weighted runs created plus. And he says that is otherworldly horrific. Yeah, maybe I'm. Look, I've left a ton of money on the table with Corbin. Clearly, I have a vividness bias issue, even though he was terrible last year. It's just messing with me.
Jim, if you had just done what you did this year and then also auto faded Corbin, think what your year-long stats would be, man.
Yeah. In fact, talking about the vividness bias, I visited Puzzler yesterday. He's got a very important meeting at 11 a.m. this morning, like an hour ago. So we'll get some more information on where he stands health-wise. But I did drop off when I visited him yesterday. I did drop off the Undoing Project by Michael Lewis, so he could read it. He wanted to read it. Look at Franco White looking Nats plus 1.5 plus money. I'm off this spot. This is not something that interests me. So, do you want to make anything official, or do we move on to Rays Yankees?
No, I'm not going to make it official. Maybe at the end of the show I will. Again, I did small bet first 5 and first 3 Cubs, but definitely nothing crazy. Shout out to WT who says 20s Pistol Pete. A Chile my WT.
Yeah, I don't miss Costa Rica when we're in the summertime, but when we get to the wintertime, I really start missing it. Tampa Bay Rays 61-53, 26-31 on the road at New York Yankees, 72-44, 41-16 at home. Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Like on Sunday, we just went down to Fort Erie Racetrack for the day. Went over to Niagara Falls. I mean, can't take the family to a horse track in Costa Rica, man. Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Jeffrey Springs going up against Nestor Cortez, 2 lefties going up against each other, 2 lefties who've had excellent seasons. Let's start with the weather in the Bronx. 79 Fahrenheit, 9 miles per hour in. Goes down to 6.9. Let me do a little refresh. This is I like to keep these as fresh as possible. See if they're there. Yeah, 9 miles per hour, 6.6 by the end of the game. Go over to the line history, Pete, in this Rays-Yankees spot. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on Pub Sports Radio. We did do the announcement early, right off the top of the show. We are having a cappers contest for the NFL season, $100 entry fee. You're only allowed 1 entry fee per person. And Jose and I will have our own show every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern where we talk about where everybody is placed in the contest. And our very own Jeff Slaughter is going to put an entry in for us in the Circa Millions, and that is for our show on Thursdays at 2 p.m. So with you guys, we will decide which 5 games we will be putting in for our card. And if we win, we fucking party. It all goes in back to us. Okay, and we won't take any. Jose and I won't take 1 cent. Every dollar will be just for us to go party somewhere. Okay, back to this Springs Cortez.
Huge shout out to Jeff Slaughter, wherever he may be right now.
Isn't that dope?
Wait, what? We don't get the money?
Not 1 cent.
Fuck.
Not 1 cent. There has been a move towards the Rays. The Rays opened up at plus 167, now at plus 150. So a bigger move from the Yankees' perspective, opening up at minus 192, now at minus 170. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 7.5, and at 9:42 a.m. this morning, it moved to 7. It's now at 7 at a pick'em as well. 7 as a pick'em. So expecting a nice performance. Maybe the wind has something to do with that. And let's take a look at the cash flow in this Yankees-Rays spot. Half line value on the Tampa Bay Rays, 7,364 tickets in. 28% of the tickets, 39% of cash on the Rays. And then 74% tickets, 72% cash on the under. Springs, his last start was okay. 5 innings for it. 2 earned runs, 8 Ks, 2 walks, and a 4-3 extra inning loss at Milwaukee. He's 2.56 ERA, 1.09 whip. On the road, he's been a little worse than he's been at home, but he's been fine. 5-3, 3.15 ERA, 225 opponents batting average. And there's Slaughter, as we speak of him, says payment methods are credit card or PayPal. Credit card or PayPal to get into our Cappers contest and our Survivor contest as well. Nestor Cortez, his last start, 4-3 loss at the Mariners. He had a quality start, 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 10 strikeouts and 1 walk. At home, he's been very good this year. 4-0, 2.06 ERA, 178 opponents batting average. Rays versus lefties last 30 have been bad, 214, 602 OPS. Yankees have been good, 258, 845 OPS. And both bullpens have been very good over the last 30 days. Take it away here for us, Pistol Pete, Loshak, Rays, Yanks.
Yeah, well, I've hemorrhaged a lot of my Corbin fade profits. Kind of betting the Yankees recently to play at least 500 ball over a span of 10 games or whatever, which they have not even come close to. This is a fucking team in disarray right now. The automatic thing would be to just take Tampa Bay once again at this big of a dog line. I didn't bet it yet. Definitely leaning under, though. And I did make a small bet on the first 3 under at 2.5 at like minus 130 or so. The Yanks just aren't really hitting. And, Cortez, not always great, but often is. He should be okay. Spring's not great, but solid. So I did take a small shot with the first 3 under, and probably the full game under has a little bit of value as well. I might be on that. Didn't have the balls to pull the trigger on Tampa Bay here. The Yankees are clearly overvalued right now. It'll definitely turn around at some point, but I'm not sure that this series against Tampa Bay is where it's going to happen. I don't think I can make anything official right now. Maybe I definitely like the under, though. Spring should be okay, but I think I'm just going to pass on that as well. It's just a wacky team right now.
It is.
And neither starting pitcher is reliable enough. And now it's down to 1.5. All right, so I'm glad I got the 2.5. But
Pete, what's the mood in the Bronx like? What are the people saying?
They're saying the Yankees fucking suck. Go fuck yourselves, Judge. Fuck you. They're saying fuck you to all the Yankees. It's really pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, it makes sense. They suck ass.
They're saying you fucking suck, you bum.
$100 to join the contest, guys. $100 for both, for the Survivor and for the Cappers contest. $100 gonna be really, really fun. There's Sanka. Great to see you, Sanka. Well, I agree that the 40% implied probability is probably worth a bet. I also see why you like the under. I think that makes a lot of sense as well. The under 4 at minus 125. I hate those 4s. But I think that all makes sense. I think it's going to be a low. I think the first 504 is a must bet. I really do. And I will move on it. And I don't care what and I probably should add the Rays to it, but I'm not going to. There's Son Dizzle in the house. Great to see you, Son Dizzle. All right. Okay. Well, that's that. You're staying off, Pete?
Yeah. Well, you like the first 5 under?
I do. I like the full game under as well. But the last thing I want, and I can understand what Joe's talking about. I mean, if it's 3-3 going into the 9th, I'm going to lose this bet. At least at the best push it. And that's a very reasonable possibility.
I like it, but yeah, I'm going to stay off it as well.
Joe Urias, Yankees 189 average, 1.74 runs per game last 10 games versus lefties. And Stella Girl's betting a half unit on the Tampa Bay Rays and the under 6.5 at plus 450. Wow. That's a really interesting look. Jake Burns says, I don't know what's going on. The Rays and White Sox are out hitting the Yanks and Astros. Yeah, the White Sox are actually hitting righties quite hard. But I'm going to move on the first 5 under 4 in Tampa, New York. Let's move on. 7:07 p.m. Eastern. Baltimore Orioles at Toronto Blue Jays. And we have arrived at the spreadsheet play of the day. It is these Toronto Blue Jays -1. All right. Ricky Vaughn in the house says, Pistol Noon. What up, guys? Old school low bagger here. I'm back on the grind.
Shout out to Ricky Vaughn.
Ricky Vaughn back on the grind. I love hearing that. Okay, let's talk about this spot here in Toronto. Orioles in town. Orioles 5 games over 500 on the year. Jays just 8 games over 500. It's been a wild season. And every time I look at these Blue Jays, I have Dennis Garcia in my head saying this is a flawed baseball team. And it certainly is. Kramer going up against the Bulldog, Alek Manoah. We'll start with the weather here in Toronto. 73 Fahrenheit, 6.4 miles per hour, right to left. By the third hour of the game, it's blowing in, but just a 5.5 miles an hour. Not a big deal. Take a look at the line history here. Why don't we look at the line history here in this Jays-O's game? God, I almost don't want to see this Jays team in the playoffs as much as it. I want the ownership to pay the consequences for some of the decision making they've done. I don't want to see them succeed and the ownership feel like they've done a good job. The Jays open up minus 225. The first move was towards them, just under 2 hours in, 10 cents, but it's come back 15 cents. So open up minus 225, now minus 220. From a totals perspective, it's gone 5 cents to the under. 5 cents to the under. Let's take a look at the cash flow here. 6,418 tickets in. 28% of the tickets, 44% of the cash on the Orioles. 32% tickets, 90% of the cash on the under, which I find hard to believe because so this is an interesting situation. We saw this with Bieber about a month ago, 3 weeks ago. He'd had 3 bad road starts in a row. Bieber had allowed 11 runs and 11 2/3 on the road, and then he was lights out on the road after that. Kramer has fine numbers on the road this year, but that 307 opponent's batting average has started showing, and the last 3 road starts he's had have been very ugly. I believe it's 14 earned runs or 13 earned runs in 14 innings, something like that. Coming off 4-3 loss at the Red Sox, 5 2/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs. Alek Manoah looks like he could be, even though he acts like there's no such thing that could possibly fatigue him, he's 137 innings in, and he doesn't look great. He's been good at home this year, 6-2, 2.48 ERA, 200 opponents batting average, coming off a 6-5 loss against these very Orioles, where he allowed 3 earned runs and only made it through 5 innings and allowed 8 hits. The Orioles versus righties the last 30 days, almost identical numbers as the Jays. Orioles 273, 747, Jays 271, 753. And the Orioles bullpen being excellent all year long, 2.65 ERA, 1.13 whip. I guess the big surprise is the Blue Jays bullpen has been so good the last 30 days, 2.50 ERA, 1.17 whip, but the team's not very good. It's very strange. Ricky Vaughn says Kramer has had some strong outings, but some big-time duds too, especially on the road. Toronto minus 19 units on the year, said Joe Yurkovich. Baltimore plus 25.8 units. I have had an unbelievable record with the Blue Jays this year. It's by far my highest ROI. They've been very hesitant to fade them. I just kind of stay away if I don't. But when I back them, I would like, you know what? I'm going to get that number for us because it's by far the best work I've done this year. I don't want him here. I think I don't want him here. But I expect Manoah to pitch well at home against the club that just touched him. He's that kind of a guy who was going to be extremely locked in and wanting to bounce back against this squad. But at this number, how can you bet the Jays? I can't do it. Can you do it, Pete?
Yeah, I mean, in the same way that my take on Giants games is often just whatever Nutflush Allen says, that's my opinion. On Blue Jays games, oftentimes whatever you say is my opinion as well. I mean, Manoah obviously last 10 starts in total have not been great. They've been okay, they've been fine, but not great. High volatility with Kramer, usually gives up 5 or 4 or 0. Which will this be? Not exactly sure. Springer, I believe, is back for Toronto, so that's good. But again, at this line, even though Baltimore is off a win, I did have Baltimore yesterday to hit Kikuchi. I don't see how you can possibly bet on Toronto here. Again, I'm confused about this one. If you had a play that you liked, I would be on it. But if you don't, then I'll probably be off it as well. Got to be thinking that it's, spot for Toronto, but not at this line. No way.
Yeah, I agree. I expect Toronto to be ahead after 5 innings.
You think Manoah's going to have it? Because Baltimore is not a get-right team for a guy like Manoah. You know what I mean?
No,
Baltimore is a tough lineup with good lefties.
When you cap the player, Manoah, this would have eaten at him for 5 days that the Orioles got to him in Baltimore. And he would say right after the game, if you listen to the guy talk, he's like, I want to face them again tomorrow morning. So I expect Manoah to look good here. But at this number, there's just no way I can do it. There's just absolutely no way. There's no way I can do it. I understand what spreadsheet is seeing. You have a pitcher in Kramer who's not looked good in his last 3 road starts against Manoah, who's been good at home and has been probably thinking about how goddamn lucky he is that he gets to face these Orioles again in his home ballpark, and he's going to shut them the fuck down. Now, it's one thing to think it, it's another thing to do it, but at this number, I can't do it. I mean, because look,
I'm sure Patrick Corbin every start out is like, fuck, I'm gonna fucking shut these guys down.
I don't think
it doesn't really work unless he's facing the Marlins or Pirates.
Patrick Corbin is rich, and he's 33 years old.
Yeah,
and he's playing on the last place team, and I don't think he gives a fuck.
Oh, there you go. Manoah's a bulldog, huh?
Manoah is a young bulldog who has a fucking axe to grind with the team that just touched him. So
maybe they are a good bet then.
But at what price?
Tim Montana from the Bronx owes money line. Great fucking value.
Look, I get that. I can't do it, but I can understand why Ron is doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And my man, my buddy Kiprios, he's making the same bet. He's confidently on the Jays -1 today, with Manoah expecting the Bulldog to bounce back. So, I can't put my money on it here. I tell you what, I'm licking my chops to back Gausman. Another thing with Gausman is, I even said to Dutch Boy Fresh, I was like, I've been making so much money off these Gausman starts that I think I'm going to double up, And then I'm looking at Bieber and I'm like, I can't do it here. I can't. Bieber is just too strong. And then Gausman gets touched, and now we're going to get a better number on Gausman next start. With all that being said, I can't do it. I can't do it, and I won't do it. But let's shout out our guy Big Show Picks. Official, another losing week, down 3.9 units last 10 days. 3.9 pounds. He's now lost 67.1 units. He's gone from 332 pounds down to 265.5. We've reached the halfway mark. Thanks for all the support, boys. I'm hoping the losing continues. What you are doing is so difficult, and it's so important, and it will help every facet of your life, and it's so hard to do. And you've got momentum right now, and we're proud of you, and keep rolling. Keep rolling. Proud of you, man. Very exciting. Look at Joe Yeager says Toronto just 13-9 in Manoah starts. Oh, 400 pounds down to 332. Oh, the goal's 265. That's it. Sorry, my bad. I like it. So we reached the halfway mark, down from 400 pounds to 330. I get it. I feel you. That's exciting, dude. That's so hard to do. It's like someone quitting smoking after 20 years of smoking. Like, it's a very, very, very difficult task. And you keeping yourself accountable here in the chat is I'm sure it's inspiring to so many of our friends in the chat. So keep going, man. Respect. We are off this spot, but Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day is in. So Ron is in. Shout out to Ron Crawford, Blue Jays -1. And our guy Taint is on the Phillies -1.5. And Nasty Nate says, last day on vacay in Myrtle Beach, I'm dreading going back to reality. You don't have to. You don't have to dread it, because you've got us, Nate. You've got capping. You've got sports that take you away from it all. Remember, we were going to move to Rhode Island? We were going to work with Nasty Nate. Those days? I still have interest. We move on. 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Detroit Tigers 44-74. 18-41 on the road at the Cleveland Guardians, 62-54, 30-23 at home. We're at Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. First things first, let's talk about the weather in the land and our man Nick Schnizzle, Ohio's finest. His son's Kian's 3-year-old birthday, his third birthday today. Happy birthday to Kian, Nick Schnizzle's son. 76 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 10.4 miles per hour right to left. And don't forget, Pistol Pete, you have an important birthday pick for Kian. 10.4 miles per hour right to left, slightly in, dies down to 8.8 miles per hour. Let's take a look at the line history in this Cleveland-Detroit spot. Opening up at 8.5 and is now at 8. Not only is it dropped to 8, but it's also juiced to the under at 8. From a money line perspective, we have a 15-cent move to the Guardians. Alex Gagnon says, I'll let you camp out in my backyard. Doesn't sound so bad.
With a tiny house. That's not bad, Jim. I love tiny houses and fucking container houses and all that shit.
The Tigers have seen Plesac a ton, says Franco White. The Chameleon says Tigers are just terrible. Let's take a look at the cash in this one. 5,712 tickets in. 22% of the tickets are on the Detroit Tigers, Pete, and 52% of the cash. Big bets coming in on Garrett Hill. 44% of the tickets, 81% of cash on the under. Big bets coming in on Garrett Hill. But there has been a 15-cent move to Zach Plesac and the Tribe. Garrett Hill's last start was nice. 5 innings for its 3 runs, but just 1 was earned. 1 K and 2 walks in the 4-3 extra inning loss. 1.36 whip on just 36 2/3. His K to walk ratio is bad. 18 Ks to 16 walks. Going up against Zach Plesac, who's been very good at home this year. 3.49 ERA, but he does allow quite a bit of contact. 277 opponent's batting average. Last start was at these very Tigers. These guys went up against each other, Garrett Hill and Zach Plesac. Hill went 5 innings, allowed 3 runs, 1 earned. Plesac went 6 1/3, allowed 1 earned run. It was a solo shot. At home, I gave you his numbers. Tigers, the last 30 days, 208, 562 OPS. Guardians, last 30 against righties, 277, 22 OPS. And the Guardians bullpen being lights out, 2.4 ERA, 1.05 whip. And Eric Jones says line is down to 7.5. Johnny Gunn says, I like the Tigers against Plesac today. And Joe Yerkowitz says, Hill has bad advanced stats. Take it away here, Pistol Pete, for us, Tigers Guardians.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that this line is heading down. I was thinking about maybe a shot with the over, despite the fact that Detroit has a non-impressive lineup in Cleveland, not that much better. Plesac and Hill both have kind of crappy numbers. Plesac slightly better, but only slightly. I was thinking about Detroit as a big dog, maybe, although Cleveland's much better team overall. But, Detroit is like a lot of these crappy teams, bringing up a bunch of youngsters who are producing a little bit under the radar. I haven't bet this one yet. My first thoughts were, I did bet the first 5 over at 4 minus 125 a little bit. Might have been a mistake, but leaning over despite the fact that the number is crashing and slightly to Detroit at this big of a dog line.
This game makes me very uncomfortable. Mark Schillingberg on the Tigers team total over 3. That's a spot that Tim Montana likes. Eric Jones says under here, Detroit 1-11 to the under in this spot. I really don't want anything to do with this game. I find it ugly. Very ugly. Robert Franklin on Detroit plus 1.5. And there's our Fat Wally. Fat Wally says, great news. Big Show says, I used to be near 400 pounds, hence nicknamed Fat Wally. Lost 100 pounds in 9 months by healthy eating and jog walking. Got down to 263. Now at 275, says, reach out if you need anything. I love that, Wally. I absolutely love that. God, that's wonderful to hear. And Wally will be joining us on Friday. Our Razor Sharp Picks is on vacation. The boys picked up 20K on a couple pick sixes. He's taken the family to the beach. So I will be hosting on Friday, a guest hosting Cash It Fridays, Razor Sharp Picks show. And we're starting early, 5:45 p.m. Eastern for the first race at Del Mar. So we'll do the whole Del Mar card and we'll go all the way till the end of Emerald Downs. Hopefully we won't go into New Zealand racing like we did last Friday. We were betting horses live on the show till 3 a.m. And we had our man Will Haggis over in the UK. It was 7:30 in the morning for him when he bowed out.
That's really living, Jim.
Is it? Is it?
I don't know. Yes, I think it is. I
don't know if it is. I'm off Tigers Guardians. This is a bum fight. Usually I like bum fights, but this does not interest me whatsoever. Mets, Braves. You want to move on?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it. Lamont Williams says, what about Colorado money line? We will be, I can't take Colorado on the money line. But we'll talk about that spot here. I have not moved on the other side of it. 7:20 p.m. Eastern, New York Mets 75, 41, 35, and 22 on the road at the Braves, 71 and 46, 38 and 22 at home. We're at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. We'll start with the weather in Atlanta, 83 Fahrenheit, 8.1 miles per hour. Out to left center. Goes down to 7.2 miles per hour. Let's go to the line history. Not a ton of humidity today. Let's go over to the line history in this Braves spot. Walker versus Morton, 2 pitchers we've capped heavy this year. A 5-cent move towards the Braves and a 5-cent move towards the over. So 5-cent move towards the Braves, 5-cent move towards the over. Let's see if that correlates with where the cash is in this one. 6,456 tickets in. 50% of the tickets, 64% of the cash on the Braves. 64% of the cash, just a 5-cent move towards them. Then 67% of tickets, 66% of cash on the over. Taijuan Walker had a nice bounce back start against the Reds. That was predicted by, I believe Sharpie was, he did predict this, that he would bounce back after that horrific start. 2 back, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks, 3 walks, and a 10-2 win at home versus the Reds. On the road, he's been good this year. 6-2, 3.38 ERA, 2.48 opponent's batting average. 2 starts back when he got touched up. Babano and I talked about whether Walker was feeling or dealing with some arm fatigue. Charlie Morton, on the other hand, just got touched badly at the Red Sox. 5 earned runs, 3 homers, 7 Ks, but he's been much better at home this year. 3-1, 3.41 ERA, 194 opponent's batting average. There's no team hitting righties as hard as the Mets over the last 30 days. 287 batting average, 804 OPS. Braves versus righties, 257, 773 OPS. And the Mets bullpen has struggled in the last 30. 4.48 ERA, 1.37 whip, while the Braves bullpen has been very good. 3.53 ERA, 1.25 whip. Take it away here for us, Pistol Pete Loshak, Mets Braves.
Yeah, well, this is obviously an interesting game. Of course, the Atlanta off of the huge win. Taijuan Walker got crushed by Atlanta last start against them. His next one was better, but yeah, you're right. He might be overall getting worn down a little bit. And then Morton, high volatility. You know what I mean? What will happen here? Not exactly sure, but he's escaped the testing, the PED test so far. What to expect from him, not exactly sure. I did take, just because of the situation, I did take a small shot on the overnight line with Mets -1 as a dog, as a decent dog, and I would also be leaning Mets team total over at just 3.5. Although Morton, when he's on his game, is lights out right now. When he's not, he gets hit. I think it's probably a decent spot for a bounce back for the Mets. I think it's probably a decent spot to bet on at least the Mets getting to Morton a little bit. And I did bet them. I don't know if I want to make it official. I think I will, though. That's my thought. Those are my thoughts on this one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would like to see the batter versus pitcher stats here once again, because I think that there's some legitimacy towards Taijuan Walker kind of struggling on his way to the finish line. And I guess not horrific stats against the Braves. I mean, Austin Riley 3 for 6 with a jack. Acuna 2 for 6. Rosario 1 for 4 with a jack. Against Morton.
Well, I mean, they hit Morton. The last time he faced them at home, it was one of his 5. Morton either gives up 4 or 5 or like 0 or 2, and that was one of his 5-run starts.
I have more faith in Morton right now than I do with Taijuan Walker. Is that?
I do too. Yeah, it's going to be a pass for me as far as official plays are concerned.
Mike M says, I think Walker's arm is gassed and the Braves hit him while Morton seems to slow down the Mets' bats. I think the Mets grip those bats a little too tight. John Todd says Braves bats hot again. Tabby Cab. Okay, I think that I would like. Oh, Pete.
Now he gives up between 0. I mean, he has high volatility, which means that like he either gives up, in the 4 or 5 range, which is, I would say crushed, or the 0, or he either has like a shutout start or a 7-inning 2-run start, which is a quality start, but a little bit better than like the 6-inning 3-run quality start, like 7 or 2. High volatility is what I'm saying here, Debbie. Kev.
The Mets bullpen has been
an excellent comment, though.
The Mets bullpen has been struggling. Do you think this will continue? Am I judging it? Am I being?
I have not looked that deep into the Mets bullpen as far as what to expect going forward. I have that on my to-do list this week, Jim.
If you had option between backing the Braves first 5 or full game. I guess that goes against your thoughts because you were leaning towards the Mets anyways.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I lean towards the Braves, but can you give me just one more Cole's notes on why you were leaning towards the Mets?
Me?
Yeah.
Because they, statistically, I mean, they've hit Morton this year, which doesn't mean they're going to hit him again. But they have hit him this year, and Walker got, shelled last time out. The Mets are off a huge loss, and the Mets are obviously a quality team. So at a big dog line, I took it. Nothing crazy, just standard bet.
And that was Taiwan struggling 2 back against these Braves.
Yeah. No, I mean, Taiwan Walker's a big question mark right now in general. He does look like he's fatiguing down a little bit.
John Todd says, Jimmy, get that money, Atlanta, baby. I find that when you obviously if we're dealing with arm fatigue, that's different. But I find when you deal with pitchers who are good pitchers, and Taiwan Walker is a good pitcher, that there is a zigzag theory, a bounce back in store when you get lit up and you get to face the team again 10 days later.
Yeah. I mean, it's right. It's yeah, I agree with all that.
Okay. I'm pulling it. John Todd says best bet today.
And actually, you know what? I'll make it official. We can move on. I'll line shop for Mets -1. It's a big dog line. If it loses, I'm okay with that.
Okay. Okay. Line shop for that.
The pinnacle. I'll take that. Mets -1 plus 175.
Okay, that'll be enough just to not be on the other side of you. Eric Jones leaning towards the Mets, but on the over. I will cheer you on, John Todd, and I will cheer Pistol Pete on. I hope it's a. I guess you can't both win, but I care about you both. Let's move on. 7:40 p.m. Eastern. Kansas City Royals 48-69, 19-35 on the road at the Minnesota Twins. 59-55, 32-35 at home. Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I guess my problem here with their ski profit in the house is that just too often I've seen a pitcher of Taiwan Walker's skill set get destroyed, get to face that opposition again 10 days later, and just look.
Except that I don't think that his struggles right now are because of his. It's not fluky.
Oh, sorry. Say it again. It's not fluky.
It's that he might be wearing down, which has happened to him previously in his career as well. Happens to many pitchers. So if that's the case, but yeah, no, in this start, I think he'll be okay.
Well, this is a fun pitching matchup. We have Zach Greinke going up against Sonny Gray, 2 pitchers that just continue to deliver deep into their careers. We're at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We will start with the weather in Minnesota. 81 Fahrenheit, 5.8 miles per hour right to left. Goes between 5.8 and 6.3. Stays just right to left across the board. Zach Greinke, 4-7. 4.29 ERA, 1.34 whip, 98 2/3, 57 Ks, 20 walks, and 12 home runs allowed. His last start was a very interesting one where all the sharp action was on him, and he delivered at home where he's been very good. 6 1/3, 9 hits, no earned runs, 5 Ks, 0 walks, and a 5-3 win at home versus the White Sox. On the road, he's been awful. 0-5, 7.16 ERA, 3.21 opponent's batting average. Going up against Sonny Gray, 6-3, 3.33 ERA, 1.16 whip, and 83 2/3, 79 Ks, and 26 walks, 8 home runs allowed. His last start was at the Dodgers, and he didn't fare that well, but God, the Dodgers are just so good. 4 2/3, 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which were earned, 1 homer, 5 Ks, 2 walks. Maybe we can give him an excuse because the Dodgers bats are I know they just got shut down by Singer. But let's go here. At home, Sonny Gray, 2-1, 3.50 ERA, 240 opponents batting average. Royals versus righties, 257.02 OPS. That's the last 30 days. And the Twins versus righties, just 235, 678 OPS. There's a reason why the Twins have been losing. They're not hitting, and their bullpen's falling apart here. Last 30 days, 4.80 ERA, 1.41 whip. But the Royals bullpen's been even worse over that time period. 4.99 ERA, 1.46 whip. Let's take a look at the line history for Kansas City, Minnesota. Greinke, Gray. We have a 8-cent move to the Twins, now minus 200 favorites. And a total perspective, it opened up at 8.5 and dropped to 8. Not only that, but it's juiced to the under at 8. So I guess the market or the syndicates or the sharps are expecting a nice start from Greinke, even though he's been so bad on the road, which could only mean that they trust the Twins not hitting or continue to not hit. Sports Insights does give about 15% line value to the Royals, 5,258 tickets in, 16% of tickets, 24% of cash on the Royals, then 59% of tickets, 78% cash on the under, and it's moved to the under. Take it away here, Pete. Gray going up against Greinke, Twins, Royals.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. I think I'm on the wrong side of this. I was leaning overs, thinking that Minnesota might get right against Greinke here, and that Gray, very up and down, might get hit a bit as well. I did bet the over on the overnight line. I don't remember exactly what line I got, but it was a lot worse than what it is now. And I also took a small shot when it came out on the Minnesota first 5-team total over at 2.5. And I'd be leaning first half over as well. But obviously the market strongly disagrees with all that.
Yeah. And Ski Prof says the over is 8-1 with Greinke away, 7.16 record. Ski is on the over 8. Yeah, I can understand the thought process here, but
no explanation for why the market has moved this strongly in that direction on the total.
And it's scary. The big bets have come in on the under.
Very concerning.
The market trusts that and has moved the total down to 8. And that makes me nervous. But it's saying that Greinke's going to have a good start.
Yeah.
Against a Twins team that's not hitting righties.
Right. But the Twins should be better than they have been offensively. I had no explanation, Jim.
It will not be action from me on that game. We move on to 7:45 p.m. Eastern. The Colorado Rockies 51-66, 18-36 on the road at the St. Louis Cardinals 63-51, 37-21 at home at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. Kyle Freeland going up against Jose Quintana. God, Quintana was a nice pickup. Got a nice pickup. And by the way, Red Girl is on the Braves' first 5. Look, I get it. I almost did that myself, but I've stayed off. And Eric Jones says KC is a minus 160 or plus 160, plus 180 road underdog playing in the month of August. 0-10 to the under. Jeez, 10 on. Wow. And he's on the under 8. Okay. Well, I'm staying off of it, but I get it. Rockies, Cards, Busch Stadium, St. Louis, Missouri. We'll start with the weather. 77 Fahrenheit and barely any wind. 3.5 miles per hour in. Stays around that number throughout the game. Go over to the line history in this Cards Rockies spot. Freeland Quintana. There's been a 20-cent move to the Cards, minus 210 to minus 230. And from a total perspective, a 5-cent move to the over, 7.5 minus 115 to 7.5 minus 120. The big difference in this game, the one, obviously, two big difference. The Cardinals' home record versus the Rockies' road record simply is a huge difference, obviously. 37-21 at home, 18-36 on the road. But it's just that the Cardinals are raking against lefties last 30 days, 273, 907 OPS. And the Rockies aren't hitting lefties. Last 30 days, just 243, 682 OPS. Eric Jones says over 7.5, says both pitchers get hit. Billy Friedrich says Cardinals first 5 team total over 2.5 minus 1-5. Cards full game team total over 4.5 and minus 110 will be on my card. LJ from H-Town saying Cards are number 1 versus lefties last 30. Or no, versus lefties 30, 18, 9, first 5 at home. Arenado 6 home runs in this month. Okay, let's pull up the cash flow in this one. 8,536 tickets in, 90% of tickets, 92% of the cash. So we talked about this earlier. So earlier there was 3% of the cash on the Nats and 6% of the cash on the Rockies. Now that's moved to 6% on the Nats and 8% on the Rockies, which makes sense. 15% of tickets are on the under and 39% of cash. So some big bets have come in on this under. Billy says Rockies have seen Quintana twice this season and have lit him up. they didn't light him up last start. It was in Colorado in the thin air, and Quintana was excellent. 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, 6 Ks, and 2 walks. Rob Free says that Rockies are 2-12 after a day off, plus a terrible road team. Easy pick here for Rob Free. We'll go with Freeland first. Coming off a rough start against these Cardinals, they hit him hard. 4 1/3, 10 hits, 6 earned runs in the thin air in Colorado. But on the road this year, he's been excellent. Well, very good. 3.53 ERA, 240 opponent's batting average. Quintana has had 2 starts with the Cards. He's thrown 12 innings. He has a 1 whip, a 2.25 ERA. He's just been very good. Rockies at first lefties, we already talked about, and both bullpens have been atrocious. The Cardinals bullpen last 30 days, 5.40 ERA, 1.32 whip. Rockies bullpen, 5.8 ERA, 1.56 whip. Eric Jones says Rockies hit Quintana. They didn't last start. Take it away here. Pistol P. Loshak, Rockies, Cardinals.
Well, I'll just be honest. I did bet unders on the overnight lines, and the line has moved against me. The market has moved against me. People are making great arguments in the comment section for why they like the over. And again, I'm a little bit snake bitten baseball right now. I might be on the wrong side here. I also bet St. Louis team total under first 5. I know that they hit lefties well. But when Freeland is on, he can be a little bit, unhittable. And I was thinking that this would be, I have some reasons to believe statistically that this will be a better start for him. So I took a small shot with the Rockies first 5 as a huge dog, and I took small shots with the under first 5 under and the St. Louis first 5 team total under. All highly correlated, all very small shots, but I might be on the wrong side of all of those. And maybe just to have a little fun here, I'll give one of those officially, just to put myself on the opposite side of the market and all the smart people in the comments section. That's what I did, Jim. I might be wrong here. Quintana is an impressive pitcher. He's very he's reflective. He looks at his last start at Coors against Colorado, that it was so good, is not a shock in light of who he is and how he conducts himself. And Freeland is also, a serviceable quality starter in spots, especially when he goes away from Coors into a more pitcher-friendly parks. Yes, St. Louis is righty heavy and crushes lefties. So that might have been a mistake, but that's what I did.
I can understand it. If I had a free play here, I'd probably do exactly what Earl's doing on the first 5 under. Just a 5-cent move to the over, and you have 85% of the tickets there, but just 61% of cash. It's clear some big sharp bets have come in on the under.
There you go. Woo Rizza says first 5 under. Yeah, I bet it. Might have been a mistake, but I bet it.
I get it. I get it. Eric Small saying the West Virginia Mountaineers this year's sleeper. Our guy Eric Small. I get it. I don't know if I can get there though. But it would be a first 5 under for me. It wouldn't be a full game. I don't trust either of these bullpens.
Wow, and Billy Friedrich on Cards team total overs. Yeah, I took the first 5 team total under, admitting it might have been a mistake.
I'm going to have to stay off, I think.
Yeah.
But I certainly have a lean. Ski, if you want why bet the under here, I think that Quintana can shut down these Rockies again. They're certainly not hitting lefties at all over the last 30 days. And then the reason why I'm hesitant is, can Freeland bounce back after getting touched by these Cardinals, face them on the road where he's been much better than he's been at home, and then combining Freeland's road numbers with the Rockies' inability to hit lefties and clear sharp bets on the under. If you consider 85% of the public's all over the over, and it's only moved 5 cents, so those would be that would be the reasoning to bet that first 5 under. But I do think that the Cardinals' ability to smash lefties is enough to keep me off of it. So there we go.
Yeah, you know what? I'll make whatever. I'm looking at a losing day probably here. I'm seeing a Pinnacle 4.5 minus 119. I'll make that official. First 5 under 4.5 minus 119. I'm sure there's going to be a cascade of don't do it, Pete's, And you might be right, but I'll make it official. What the hell?
Under 4.5 at minus 119. Yeah, I wonder what is the so the first 5 under 4 is minus 105 here. Over at Pinnacle, it's Rockies cards first 5 under 4.5, under 4 is plus 109. Wow, 14 cents better. Okay, I am off. Let's move on to 8:05 p.m. Eastern. Oakland Athletics 41-75, 24-37 on the road at the Texas Rangers 52-63, 26-32 at home. At Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Roof will be closed. You have J.P. Sears. He came over from the Yankees at the deadline. His first start with the A's, he went 5 1/3, allowed 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 Ks, and a 5-4 extra inning loss at home to an Angels team that doesn't hit lefties. But he's been good this year overall. 3-0, 2.30 ERA, 18 Ks, 5 walks, and 27 1/3. Going up against Kohei Arihara. Arihara signed that $6.2 million 2-year deal, not this offseason, but the one before that, and looked awful. 6.64 ERA, 1.43 whip. After 40 innings, got cut or sent to the minors. At Round Rock, he's been decent. 4.88 ERA, 1.32 whip. They fire Woodward and bring up Arihara. A's versus righties over the last 30 days been pretty good. A 232, 710 OPS. Against the lefties, the Rangers are 217, 637 OPS. A's bullpen 3.58 ERA, 1.13 whip. Rangers bullpen 3.82 ERA, 1.30 whip. A's, Rangers, let's take a look at the line history here. Sears, Arihara, we have a 10-cent move to the Rangers. And we have this total going from 9 to 8.5. Not only that, but it's moved to 8.5 and it's juiced minus 120 to the under. Move over to the cash flow in this A's Rangers spot. Just 2,282 tickets in. Nobody wants to bet this game. 47% of tickets and 87% of the cash is on the A's, but a 10-cent move to the Rangers is very, very confusing. Obviously, they have no fear of any of that A's cash. Then 68% of tickets, 84% of cash on the under. Expecting a nice start from Arihara. This one is confusing. Take it away, Pete. A's, Rangers.
Yeah, there was no overnight line on this one, and when it came out, I was pretty much I think I'm going to pass on this one. Arihara has not been good in the minors, but he, they're bringing him up for a reason, so we'll see what happens. And Oakland is, I did take a shot with him yesterday and wound up with pushes. I took him first 3 and first 5 and got pushes on both of those. Again, new manager for Texas. It's going to be a pass for me as of right now.
We got Dommy Gunricci in the chat. Dommy, we love you, man. Yeah, I guess. I mean, there was a time when these Rangers were raking lefties. That time is gone. The market feels like Arihara is going to pitch well here. But I guess it's not enough for me to want to pull the trigger. But I will keep an eye on this spot because the A's are getting all the money and the market's making it even more appealing for people to bet the A's. And you have to think that there will be bettors that just look at the 2.30 ERA, 0.80 whip for J.P. Sears and think that he's, bet on.
Going to be a pass for me, Jim.
Going to be a pass for me at this point, but I do have some interest in the Rangers. The Chameleon is on the Rangers. I will keep an eye on this Rangers spot here. Let me just add some asterisks and some question marks. Okay, we move on. 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Houston Astros 75-42, 36-24 on the road at the White Sox 60-56, 29-29 at home at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago, Illinois. We will start with the weather in the South Side. Where the hell is it? Here we go. 74 Fahrenheit, 10.5 miles per hour left to right, slightly out. 10.5 to 9.1, slightly out to the right field pole. Take a look at the line history in this White Sox spot. Verlander versus Cease. What a beautiful, beautiful opportunity this will be to watch. A 5-cent move to the Astros. And no movement on the under 7 at -115. There was a belief that this would move to 6.5, Pete, and it has not done that. It has not done that. Earl Sports says this under feels so obvious. It's going to be a 5-3 game. Chameleon says if the White Sox win this game, watch out. Could be a big spark. One thing, you guys, that Noli was talking about with this Astros White Sox game, Noli will be our special guest on tomorrow's show. Noli was talking about how if runs are scored early in this game, he's going to live bet the under. He's going to live bet the under as soon as he can. So he's almost hoping. I don't know if he's going to have a pregame bet because we talked about the game that he was going to have a pregame bet on, but it sounded like he was almost hoping that there would be a couple runs early, a bomb would be hit, and then he would just immediately live bet the under. Ski says the wind makes me nervous. I think that this wind will help the pitchers. It's so left to right that I don't worry about it from an offensive standpoint. Billy Frieder says Verlander's not pitched in Chicago since 2018. In 9 starts from 2012 to 2018, Verlander in Chicago has a 3.41 ERA. Interesting, because we remember that Verlander's ERA against the Guardians in his career was over 5, and then he just completely shut down the Guardians 2 starts back, and that was a spot where Sharpie was very confident that he'd do it. Sharpie took the team total Guardians first five under 1.5, and that cashed. So let's go here and see this one more time. We have half, or even more than half, looks like about 60% line value on the White Sox. 8,322 tickets in, 20% of the tickets, 32% of the cash on the White Sox, 93% of the tickets, and 97% of cash on the under, and it hasn't moved to 6.5. Wow. Ray says easy over 7. Both teams' bullpens suck. There is some truth to that. White Sox bullpen last 30 days, 4.11 ERA, 1.36 whip. We've talked about the Astros bullpen being the best in the league all year, but last 30 days, 3.75 ERA, 1.26 whip. I wouldn't say they suck, but they haven't been very good. White Sox versus righties the last 30 days, they're hitting much better than the Astros. Almost 100 OPS points better than the Astros against righties. 287, 763 OPS for the White Sox, 239, 669 OPS for the Astros. Cease in his last start, 5-3 loss at the Royals. He went up against Greinke. There was big bets made on Greinke. The line wasn't moving towards the White Sox. Sure enough, the Royals won that game, and a lot of the public, or the books, made a lot of money. Let me just say that. For Verlander, his last start wasn't great. 3 earned runs in 6 innings, 8-4 loss at home versus the Rangers, but on the road, he's been lights out. 8-2, 1.58 ERA, 147 opponent's batting average. Billy Friedrich says Cease hasn't faced Houston this season. Slatsy says Cease 5-1, 0.74 ERA last 6, but 0-3, 6.60 ERA last 3 starts versus Astros. Take it away here. This one's fascinating.
Yeah.
Probably the game of the night.
I might have made a mistake, which is okay because I do this recreationally. As soon as it came out, I took the obvious bet, which would be no run in the first. I got -150. It's actually -154 at Pinnacle. It'd be interesting to see where that line moves. Obviously, Houston has some vicious, fearsome bats at the top of the lineup, and the White Sox are no slouch either. But I'm much more afraid of Houston exploding on Cease first. I agree with the people who say this might be a little bit trappy. We've seen this in all sports, going back years and years and years, to obviously super strong under teams or even over teams playing each other, and then it's unexpectedly high scoring or low scoring. Verlander I've been betting Verlander successfully and Cease all season long, but he's gotten touched a bit once in a while. And Cease, how long can he continue what he's been doing? I bet the no run in the first inning probably was a mistake, but I'm going to roll with it. Not going to make it official. And other than that, I'm not going to make an official bet on this one. Official pick.
Yeah, I completely understand staying off this spot. I'm a little surprised that the White Sox are at +110. I know that Cease has been so good, but I just thought we might get a little bit better number on the White Sox, and that is not the case. I just want to look at this line history one more time. Yeah, 5-cent move to the Astros. Mark Schlemberg says if Houston hasn't seen Cease, I would say advantage to Dylan Cease. Huh. Billy Friedrich moving on to Brady over 1.5 total bases at plus 130 for him. This, I guess, will end up being no move. I was excited about talking this out. I do think that, and Dominic Unreachy said, I heard a few people having White Sox by their numbers should be minus 110. Altuve had the night off last night. What do you... if you had a free bet on a side, Pete, would it be first 5 or full game, and what side would it be?
If you gave me a free bet, I'll answer this question. If you gave me a free bet, I would probably put it on man, that is a tough one. That's a fucking tough one, Jim the Bag. That is a fucking tough one. I'd probably, if I had a free bet, what would I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'd flip a coin.
Well, Chairman King, coming to us from Pyongyang, says White Sox if he had a free bet.
That's good enough for me. And Tommy Gun White Sox, there's your answer. I take White Sox, Jim.
Huh. Earl says dog or pass. BJ says free bet. You gotta take Houston for landing, no debate. I guess
the White Sox have a bit of an underwhelming and underachieving offense. It's also very righty heavy, and Houston on the road is pretty fearsome offensively. So that's what makes me nervous about the White Sox.
Well, I think that, I know we talked about Anderson not being in the lineup.
Yeah, that's a huge loss.
But I still think my White Sox to win the division is very live.
Yeah, I mean, they have good names in there. They've just been a little bit underachieving and a little bit lethargic.
I mean, they're 500 at home.
Yeah.
La Russa falling asleep on the bench. White Sox for John Todd. Franco White says, I wouldn't be surprised one bit if the Sox win. Dominican says, I'm a White Sox hater. They torch me, but I'd still take them. I like the Astros. Or I like that the Astros have never seen cease. Okay, I guess it's a stay off spot for us. Let's move to 8:10 p.m. Eastern and let our Wine Time Sports lead us into this. Says, I'm on the Brew Crew today, minus 125. There's a reason why the Dodgers are dogs in this one. Have a few systems in play in this as well. I was planning on back, and there's Noli Knows in the house. Noli Knows is, Noli, are you talking the under in the Astros game? Astros White Sox game? Love to hear that. Great to have Noli Knows will be our special guest tomorrow. I was hoping in this Brewers spot that I would get a better line on the Brewers. That is not coming to fruition. Brewers are sitting here at minus 130. I've been sitting back going, when's the public going to come in and think, oh, the Dodgers shouldn't be an underdog to any team in the world? I could have got a minus 120. It says that it moved to minus 130 at 10 a.m. That's incorrect. It moved earlier to minus 130. I was just waiting for it to update here. John Todd says Brewers first 5. Says lock, I promise. I want the Brewers first 5. I still feel like I'll get a better line at some point. Let's see where the cash is now in this one. We have half line value on the Milwaukee Brewers, 28% of the tickets, 60% of the cash. That's come down. That was 72% of the cash. So some cash is coming in on the Dodgers. And then 53% of the tickets on the over and 98% of the cash on the over, which tells me that they think Pepio is going to get hurt or touched here. Pepio's last start, 8-5 win at home versus the Twins. He let a Minnesota Twins team that's not been hitting get to him. 4 1/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 homers, 4 Ks, 3 walks. But let's just remember this kid out of Butler is being so. There's a reason why Mitch White was jettisoned. In AAA Oklahoma City, he went 8-0 with a 2.27 ERA, 1.05 WHIP. He's looked very good this year. He's earned the opportunity. Saturated moving on Brewers first 5 minus a half and minus 107. I kind of want to keep this push in play if it's a tie. Would it shock me if it was 1-1 or 2-2 after 5? It wouldn't, and I don't want to lose because of it. Brandon Woodruff, 3.52 ERA, 1.14 WHIP, coming off a good start at home versus the Rays. 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 5 Ks. Just a good start. He's been very good at home this year. That wasn't a sign of it against Tampa. 5-0, 2.38 ERA, 171 opponent's batting average. Dodgers versus righties, 280, 841 OPS over their last 30. I know I said the Mets are no one's hitting the righties harder than the Mets. It's not true. The Dodgers do have a higher OPS, a smaller or lower batting average. Brewers versus righties 268, 843 OPS. Dodgers bullpen 2.66 ERA, 2.66 ERA, 0.98 WHIP. Last 30 days being very, very good, and the Brewers bullpen's looking awful. 4.81 ERA, 1.29 WHIP over the last 30 days. Take it away here, Pistol Pete, Loshak, Dodgers, Brewers.
Well, this might be my one winner on the card because I am finally in agreement with John Todd. I did take Milwaukee, not full game. I took them first 3 and first 5. Pepiot is having some control issues, which are concerning. Although obviously he has a great upside, but at the small line, I did take a shot with Milwaukee, and I guess they say there's no locks in sports betting, but once or twice a year there are locks. And if John Todd says lock, I promise about Milwaukee, maybe this is one of them. Maybe this is one of the 2 or 3 locks, legit locks in MLB this year. I hope it is. I bet first 3 and first 5. And to start, I might double up, but to start, we can make first 3 official. Milwaukee Brewers first 3 minus 125, current line at Caesars. And I also bet first 5. Might double up on it, although I don't know if I want to do that. But yeah, I took Milwaukee.
I would like to do that, but isn't the public going to come in at some point in the next 5 hours or 6 hours and hammer the Dodgers?
The public?
Yeah.
Public is a bunch of fucking complete moron mania. Who knows what the hell I have no idea what they're going to do. Are they going to hammer the Dodgers? I don't know. No clue.
I think that they will. I think that I have to be patient here. And if I am patient, I'll be rewarded. I'm getting a minus 135 on the first 3 and a minus 130 on the first 5. Noli Knows says, if you like Milwaukee, take the under. So Noli Knows thinks Pepio is capable of, well, I mean, we know he's capable, but Noli Knows obviously liking Pepio to pitch well here. And BJ says, I'm taking the Dodgers at plus money. I don't care who's on the mound. So, yes, North Ender, my man. So for the cash flow in this Dodgers, did I not? Maybe I didn't read it out. Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Half line value on the Brewers, 28% of the tickets, now 59% of the cash. It was just 60. I'm certain of this. I need to sit back and relax and get a better line on the Brewers. And when the public comes in and bets the Dodgers all day and the line doesn't change, then I'll be certain the Brewers are the play. It's a can't-lose spot if I can just be patient.
Uh-oh, JPZ, I'm sorry. I watch Woodruff. People who actually watch these guys, I trust a lot. He's not that good. Didn't we all lose on this K-prop last game? Dodgers for me. Wow.
Well, I didn't lose on his K-prop last week. I don't bet K-props, but I completely get, JPZ, I get it. And, I get it. Joe Yerker says Dodgers pen just as good as Woodruff, maybe better. BJ says Woodruff sucks. 5-0 with a 2.38 ERA, 171 opponent's batting average at home. Mr. MDR24 says LA. Okay, so I don't need to say anymore. I'm definitely going to be on the Brewers, and I'm going to wait. I will only be on them first 3 or first 5. I think Woodruff steps up here in this spot. I've always trusted him in big games. And look, a 4-3 the game against the Rays, nobody in Milwaukee gives a fuck about the Rays. They care about the Dodgers. So I'm with you, Wine Time. And Brewers early only. I'm agreeing with that. BJ says even if Pepio gets hit, Dodgers pen will clean up. I get it. I will be on the Dodgers first 3 and first 5. And I will just sit back and wait. So let me just make sure that I have all this here. Oh, sorry. Let me cut this here and paste it right here. Under Loshak is on the Brewers first 3 minus 125. 10 cents worse for me if I wanted to move on it. Let me make sure I've got a ton of asterisks here just so I don't get caught up in any other bullshit. Johnny Gunn says, but do you trust the Brewers bats?
No.
The Brewers versus righties in the last 30 days are hitting harder than the Dodgers.
Okay, then I do.
843 OPS versus righties.
There you go.
Now their average is 268, but the Brewers, I do trust the Brewers bats very much. Rock and Rowdy Tellez is whom I trust. We move on. 9:38 p.m. Eastern. Seattle Mariners 63-54, 32-28 on the road. At Los Angeles Angels 51-65, 26-34. Homeward Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. Let's start with the weather in Anaheim. 82 Fahrenheit, 8.4 miles per hour out to right center. Dies down to 6.1 miles per hour. I agree, the chameleon. Let's move over to the line history here in Mariners Angels. I'm going to move over here. Sorry about that. Okay, Mariners Angels, Robbie Ray, Jose Suarez. There's been a 10-cent move to the Mariners, minus 165 to minus 175. From a totals perspective, no movement. 7.5 minus 115 to the over. Let's go over to the cash flow in this one. Half line, just under half line value, 40% line value on the Angels. 5,119 tickets in, 12% of the tickets, 33% of the cash. So some big bets are coming in on the Angels and Suarez. 59% of tickets, 83% of cash on the over. John Todd liking the first 5 under and Seattle. Winetime's going to try to make it to this game if he's able to after work. It says, I think this actually could be a good ball. I think it'll be great. I'd love to go to this ball game. Robbie Ray going up against Jose Suarez. I have great memories of Angel Stadium when I was young. Robbie Ray, 8-8, 3.90 ERA, 1.19 whip on the season, coming off a 4-3 win at home versus the Yankees, where he went 6 1/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 7 Ks, 5 walks. On the road this year, he's been awful. 4-5, 5.50 ERA, 262 opponents batting average. Suarez has been so good in his last 3 starts, 3 straight starts without allowing a run. You know, he's got a 4.76 ERA, 252 opponents batting average at home, but I think maybe it's time to put a line through that. The Mariners are hitting 235, 702 OPS versus lefties over the last 30. The Angels are hitting just 196, 595 OPS. Both bullpens have been so good of late. You know, the Angels bullpen, 3.10 ERA, 1.11 whip over the last 30. And the Mariners bullpen's been even better than them. Take it away here, Pete. Mariners, Angels.
This is going to be a pass for me. Because of the line, I would lean Angels. Robbie Ray, hard to get a read on. You know, I have good reads on some pitchers. Robbie Ray is a pitcher that this year I don't have a good read on at all. I passed on many of his games, and I'm kind of glad that I did. Great start against the Angels 2 starts ago. And Suarez also I have kind of a tough, you know, he's had 3 straight excellent starts, had 2 great starts against Seattle earlier this year, but has also been vulnerable. High volatility in this game, obviously. So, you know, whatever side if you gave me a free play on this one, I would definitely take a -1 or -1.5 line, regardless of which side I wound up taking. But going to be a pass for me, Jim. Michael
Evelina says, I'll be at the game again. Bet the first 5 under and Seattle money line once the Halos get to their bullpen. Halos bullpen's been so good lately. You know, 83% of cash on the over. The line not moving.
High volatility here, Jim. So if I was going to take an over, and maybe if I could get a good line, would buy up to a positive number. Or if I was going to take the under, if I could get a good line, they didn't jack me too much on it, I'd buy down to a positive number.
Offensive weather. I just don't think I can. It's just not all correlating for me. So no move for me here. Let's move on to the last game on the card, 9:45 p.m. Eastern. I was expecting Merle Kelly to be on my card and couldn't move on it before the game or before our show because of the market. Noli knows his Angels' most profitable team to the under at home. All right, let's go. Diamondbacks, Giants, Oracle Park. We'll start with the weather in Frisco. 65 Fahrenheit, 8.6 miles per hour out to left center. Dies down to 6.5, so not very windy in San Francisco. Then we'll take a look at the line history in this one. And a 5-cent move to the Giants. And staring at this over and over again, just a 5-cent move to the Giants. 5-cent move to the over. 5-cent move to the Giants and a 5-cent move to the over. 5,182 tickets in. 12%. Oh, sorry. That's the Angels. Sorry, my bad. That's the Angels game. Sorry. Here we go. 5,018 tickets in. 38% of tickets, 45% of the cash on Arizona. 63% of tickets, 95% of cash on the under. I just find this so strange.
Wait, tell me the Arizona money line numbers again.
I find this so strange. 62% of the tickets are on the Giants. And 55% of the cash. So there are bigger bets coming in on Arizona slightly.
Slightly, yeah. All right.
But I don't understand what people are seeing with the Giants and why is this market not moving to the Diamondbacks? It's enough to make me not want to move on it. Billy Friedrich says Diamondbacks first 5 for me. That was the whole plan, was to back Merrill Kelly here. He's coming off a 9-3 win at home versus the Pirates. He didn't look that good. 3 earned runs in 5 innings, 6 Ks, 3 walks. It was a 9-3 win. On the road, his splits are fine either way. On the road, 3-4, 3.06 ERA, 241 opponent's batting average. I just think Jacob Junis is a fade. He's had a good season this year, surprisingly. He's not looked good in his last couple starts, coming off a 13-7 loss at the Padres, 6 earned runs in a 2 1/3. He's been decent at home this year, 2-1, 3.93 ERA, 255 opponent's batting average. The Diamondbacks have been hitting righties over the last 30 days, 253, 738 OPS, while the Giants just 225, 681. And then the biggest difference is this Diamondbacks bullpen has been so good over the last 30 days, surprisingly. 2.77 ERA, 1.07 whip. The Giants bullpen, 5.73 ERA, 1.53 whip. The Diamondbacks struggle versus the slider is what Lee Davis is saying. I believe that's what he's saying is backs, but I believe he's saying back struggle versus the slider. Ricardo Gutierrez in Reno doing it up nice. Billy Friedrich said Junis 1 start versus Diamondbacks, 4 1/3, 1 earned run, 3 hits. And bet with Jay. Bet that with Jay, who I now follow on Twitter. My guy, bet that with Jay in the house. He's on San Francisco first 5 money line. Shout out to Jay in the house. Can you shine some light on this spot, Pete?
No, I can tell you that I made the bet that you guys were all thinking about, and the market has not, justified it. I took shots with Arizona first 3 and first 5 before I saw this movement and before we all talked about it here. Yeah, I mean, I've done well with Kelly this year and the Diamondbacks. In fact, the Diamondbacks are often big dogs, of course, and I tend to bet them against relatively vulnerable righties, which I would consider Junis to be. And Merrill Kelly is a guy I've had a pretty good read on as well. He's obviously been generally good this year, and I've generally bet on him pretty successfly. And I did it again here. Took Diamondbacks bet size appropriately, first 3 and first 5. But you're right. Everything you're saying is, his last start against Pittsburgh was a little bit off. I'm wondering if there are some, under the radar elbow issues that only a few people know about. That certainly would not be a shock at all. But he still got a bunch of strikeouts, gave up a few walks. I bet him, and the market movement doesn't have me happy. I'm not going to take it back, but I'm not happy about what I'm seeing here. Might be on the wrong side on today's card yet again.
No, I'm not happy about it either. Eric Jones said San Francisco opened up minus 105, is now minus 130. I'll give you a couple different books here, the line history. At Bet 365, the Giants opened up at 5:08 p.m. at minus 115. That was an hour and 1 minute later than Pinnacle opened it up. Pinnacle opened up the Giants at minus 108. So the Giants at Pinnacle have gone from minus 108 to minus 122, a 14-cent move. On Bet 365, they've gone from minus 115 to minus 120. Billy Friedrich and Stanka, I'll answer both those questions in a second. I tell you what, it's taking me off this game. I can't confidently bet Arizona here. I feel like the markets or syndicates or what have you have a pretty good eye on Jacob Junis. I just think from my eye test that he's fucking terrible and that he should be fucking hit. And he had an excellent start to the season when any team could have had him for a fucking cup of coffee. And obviously I don't know. So I'm scared off of this spot. So I'm moving off of that.
Yeah, it's a classic situation. The advanced data analytics guys Kind of like Junis, but my jerk-off friend who watched him pitch says he sucks. Who do I trust? I trust my jerk-off friend who says he sucks. I don't know, Jim. I don't know what to tell you. It's actually getting to the point in this game where I might consider pulling my. I rarely do that, but I might pull my. I might just hedge out on the other side and eat the loss and pray for a push on first 3 and first 5. But I bet it. I bet Arizona first 3 and first 5. It's already in for me.
Don Play says, Jimmy, do you have 200s for me today? Let's go over all of our action here. Billy Friedrich, I copied and pasted your spot. He says, I'm on a tangent here, but I love Ohio State minus 15.5 versus Notre Dame on the 3rd of September. I think Ohio State can name the score. Notre Dame in trouble.
I got one jerk-off friend who says Junis sucks. I got another jerk-off friend who says Woodruff sucks. I trust him. I do.
And then Senka, I got destroyed in CFL this past weekend, and badly. Worst week I've had in CFL since before the pandemic, and it just took the wind out of my sails. I needed like a couple days to like shake it off. So I'm going to fire this week, but I did go over my previous years of work again. All my spreadsheets just go back from working with Pete. I wasn't on spreadsheets. I had my books where I wrote in all my action before working with Pete. And very interestingly enough, and something I could have said, that I destroy the beginning of the year and I destroy the end of the year in CFL every year. And in the middle of the year, I get fucking touched up. And so I went 0-6. Oh, it was devastating. I went from 22 and 15 up 6 and some odd units to 22 and 21 down 1.6 units, and I lost a lot of money. So I'm a little shook, but I'll be back at it here. Okay, so let's review all action, and then we will get a birthday pick for Kian, our Ixschnizzle's 3-year-old son birthday pick.
This is going to be tough. An interesting philosophical situation. How do you give a birthday pick when all of your official picks are looking like losers?
By the way, I meant to mention it, and I forget who said it. It was very funny. It was one of the cappers says, I can't wait for the day when – let me see if I can find it. I'll try to find it. But it was about when you say if it loses.
Oh, yeah.
I will care very much. I forget how he worded it, but it made me laugh, and then I got caught up in some other bullshit. Okay, let's review all action right now, and I will try to find that line because it made me laugh, but now I've lost it. Okay, here we go. 6:40 p.m. Eastern, the first game on the board. Matty Ice is on the Phillies minus 1.5 and minus 115. That is taint. Then 6:40 p.m. we get to work. Loshak is on the Marlins first 3 at plus 115. I'm going to be on the Marlins first 5 and the first 5 under. Jose is with me on that first 5 under. Bet that with Jay's birthday pick is the Phillies first 5 minus a half.
Yeah. I mean, that's certainly defensible. I might be on that.
And Control Your Vessel says that Toronto Argonauts game cost me $6,000 on a 16 parlay. Oh, God, I hate hearing that. Sorry. I was just wrong. Earl Sports has a birthday pick. The Brewers minus 1.5 at plus 170. Earl Sports wants to fill Kian's pockets. And Bet That with Jay says he's honored that Pete agrees. I like Jay a lot. He's a great guy, great camera. Okay, so let's keep rolling. So there you go, Don. There's a first 5 under that both Jose and I are on. Padres, Marlins. Then Jose's on the Pirates full game. Loshak's on the under 8.5 in Boston, Pittsburgh. That might be a really good look. That full game under. Let's just go over to the cash flow on that again. This Pittsburgh, Boston. They're not even giving us the cash on that spot. 59% of tickets are on the under. And what has the market done on that under? Sorry, this will just take a second. This is a crucial part of the day for me. Totals, 5-cent move to the under. And the weather in Pittsburgh, what did I say it was? The weather in Pittsburgh is... I think Slick Nick could be good here. I think I'm going to rock with both of you guys I like Pirates full game. I don't love it. Even though the sharp money is clearly on it. And Noli, yes, I'm on the first 5 under in Miami. Noli, we talked about your thoughts on that game right off the top. And we talked about your prediction that it would open at 7.5 and then quickly move to 7. But I'm only on the first 5 under. Even though both bullpens have been good, Padres, Marlins, I'm just going to be on the first 5. I feel like that's what I want to focus on. Back to this spot. I think I like the under better than the full game under 8.5, better than backing the Pirates here. I'm certainly not going to back the Red Sox, though. Okay, so Loshak's on the under 8.5, and Jose's on the Pirates. Cubs, Nats, we stayed off. I'm going to be on the first 5 under 4 in Rays, Yankees. Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play today. So there's the third one, Don. Spreadsheet play today is Toronto -1. Pete is preparing his birthday pick. Tigers, Guardians, no action. Loshak's on the Mets -1 at +175. Royals, Twins, we stayed off. Loshak's on the first 5 under 4.5 in Colorado, St. Louis. At 8:05 p.m., I have some interest in the Rangers. I don't think I'll get to the window. Astros, White Sox, no action. And then I'm going to wait. I'm going to sit back and wait. Brewers, and AJ says, stop humming and hawing. Says, raise it. Brewers, first 3 for Loshak. I'm going to wait. I'm going to sit back and wait and hope that the Dodgers starts getting bet. And I can get a better line. I'm going to be on Brewers first 3 and first 5. Mariners, Angels, we are off. And Diamondbacks, Giants, we are off. Pistol Pete Loshak, we've come to that time where we get to play this song that you don't enjoy.
Nah, Jim, the song is fire. The song is straight fire. It's the picture. Not that I look so great now, but I look way better now than I look in that picture. Come on, you know. We'll talk offline with Jose Bouquet. All right. First of all, happy birthday to what's his name?
Kian. It's Ian with a K.
Yeah. Okay. Kian Schnizzle. Happy. Oh, what's this?
No, we have do your thing, Pete. We've got friends and family too.
Oh yes, the friends and family.
Oh, that's right. All right. So happy birthday to Kian Schnizzle. You're 3 years old this week. Once again, on behalf of myself and Jimmy the Bag and all the boomers and Gen Xers in the comment section, I apologize about the world that we are leaving you, but you should be good for another 10 or 15 years. So I hope you have a great, preteen years. Hope you have a great bunch of teen years. Just have a great time. Learn, have friends, have stand-by-me type friends. The best friends you'll ever have are when you're those ages. Happy birthday to you, Keon Schnizzle. Then your 20s, hey, all bets are off. And once again, I apologize. Probably going to suck. And again, I fucking apologize. Don't get mad at me. I'm just keeping it real with you, Keon Schnizzle. But happy birthday for you. All right, listen. Birthday pick. I mean, I was gonna give maybe Milwaukee first 3, but my jerk off friend JP, he saw him pitch and said he sucks. So I'm not gonna give that. You know what? I'm not going to give Colorado St. Louis first half under. Boston Pitt under. It's probably, I'm not going to give that either. And Miami Cabrera, he's good, but San Diego is off of a shutout loss, and and Miami with that lineup and this and that. So, look, last week I gave a -1 plus, 190 birthday pick, and it cashed.
Yeah. And that was for another toddler as well.
Another toddler?
Right, you did it that was for Maddie's son, Briggsy. That was a 3-year-old birthday too. And I was so thankful for that. I had a slight losing day on the show, but as for the birthday pick cash, that's all that mattered to me. Mets -1. When I gave that, it was +175. Now I'm looking at Pinnacle, it's down to +173. So I don't know what line you want to put up there, Jim. You want to put 175, or which is what I quoted. Now officially it's 173 at Pinnacle, gone down about 2 cents. That's your birthday pick. Taijuan Walker might be wearing down, but I hope he's got just one more start in him. That's pretty good. Morton, who knows? Is this going to be one of his, as I said,
To Dabby Cap personally, Morton usually gives up between 0 or 7 runs. So hopefully this will be one of his 6 or 7 run starts. The Mets crush him. If they don't, hopefully the bullpens, who knows? Mets -1 plus 175 or 173, whatever you want to write down there, Jimmy the Bag.
Jesus, Pete, you got the balls of a Mexican street dog.
Mm-hmm.
-1 at plus 175. Big balls banging around for a birthday pick.
I was shocked at the Venezuelan street dogs too when I went. Big balls on those.
Huge.
Big
giant balls on them. Friends and family parlay time. Friends and family parlay time. Jose, you look poised here. What is your look for the friends and family parlay?
Well, see, you could go different avenues with this one. I'll be honest. I looked at like a Cardinals team total over like 3.5 -185. You know, an seemingly easy pick right there. Cardinals against lefties, we know. I looked at the Brewers money line because I agree with everyone. That is a trap written all over it, and that will be on the Brewers in some form or fashion as well. Watch Say Hey plays today with special guest Bobano for the conclusion of that. But ultimately, when it comes to friends and family, Jim, you only want your closest friends and family involved. And there's been one team that I've been closer to than anyone else. They've made me money, and I'm going to back them today again. Pirates money line, 122 friends and family parlay edition.
Wow, Pirates money line. What's the number?
I have it at plus 122.
Wow, very, very exciting. And there's Noli Nose giving you a shout out, Pete. That's nice to see. Eh?
Shout out to Noli Nose. Oh, hell yeah. Shout out. What a great comment. Jim, you know, I wrote a parody song about all that I live for is these YouTube comments, parody of Redemption song. Maybe I'll sing it for you. It's complete. All verses done.
When can we hear it?
You want to hear the first few lines?
Oh, very badly, yes.
The Pirates, yes, they fucked. I got swept by the New York Mets. Minutes after I fucking chased with them with martingale bets. But my bankroll was made fat. I'll sing it for you later. Maybe we'll make a video of it. Send it to fucking Pub Sports Radio.
I want the whole music video of that.
The chorus is, won't you help to read these positive comments? All I ever had. YouTube comments. Great song, Jim. People like it will do it.
I'm already very excited for that. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Well, it has come to you, Pete, because I want to not take a bet that you might be using because I have two options. So I'm totally so why don't you go next with the friends and family parlay?
The Pirates, yes, they fucked. I got swept by the New York Mets. It's not bad, Jim.
It's really good.
Not bad. Not quite Weird Al level, but it's close.
Yeah. No,
really boy. Good. I want to give under, and that is correlated with Jose's pick. Jose, what do you obviously have studied this game? What do you think about under 8.5?
Well, I think you guys would know a little bit more about Pittsburgh's park than I do for batters and hitters, I would say. So I would ask you first, is Pittsburgh generally a hitter's park? You know, obviously the views are beautiful and everything. We have to check.
Is that a joke?
It's a pitcher's park, big pitcher.
Very pitcher-friendly park. That's why big offenses from the West Coast often go there to die.
Exactly. Okay, so perfect. So 89 weighted runs created plus for the Pirates, which is actually better than the Red Sox's 88 against righties. So yeah, I don't hate the under at all either. I mean, the Red Sox offense is pathetic.
It happens to be it's the universe telling me to do it. It happens to be correlated with Jose's pick. Boston, Pittsburgh under 8.5.
Does this inspire you, Pete, to get this music video out?
Sure. What video you want?
This comment right here.
What time? What happened?
Does this comment inspire you to produce?
What kind?
Look on the screen, Pete. AOD says, Pete, I'm wetting my panties.
Yeah, you know, you can't be inspired by that in life. You gotta be inspired by other things and then take that as it comes to you. But yes, We'll do it. We'll work it out. We'll
It's
work
the
it
music
out.
for me.
AOD. Thank you very much.
He's just committed to the music. He's not about the rich and famous life that comes with it. He's just all about the music and the picks.
First 5 under 4 for me in San Diego, Miami.
That was my other pick that I also had written down too. Well, obviously that was a pick that we both liked. Plus 710. Plus 710.
Oh, Jesus, really?
Yeah. Well, plus 122 Pirates money line in there will help for sure. So plus 710 for friends and family. I think this is the highest odds for friends and families thus far.
Very, very exciting. And again, we have our Cappers contest at Pub Sports Radio. Hundo a pop. Can you pop it up one more time? There it is. $100 entry fee. And we are off our Cappers contest. And we're going to be making an announcement each and every day. But this one is a dual announcement because we also have our Survivor contest right there. Survivor contest in business. 1 pick per week Survivor contest. That's also $100 a pop. So we got both of those contests going down. And every Thursday at 2 p.m., Jose and I will host a show yet to be named. We'll have the name for it here shortly. A Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern, where we will go over who's leading the Cappers contest. And Jeff Slaughter is putting in a Circa Millions entry for us for $1,500. And we will be, as a group, putting our 5 picks together on that show Thursday.
It is a tradition unlike any other. This will be, I think it's like the 3rd or 4th year that we've done something like this. My first expedition to Pub Sports Radio, meeting Jeff and Preston, everything. My first week, we went to Vegas and put out our first entry in the Super Contest. And that was my first time going to Vegas. So we've come a long way from that. And by the way, Jim, you haven't asked me, because you know how my record has been recently. But 353 and 375, only down 1.6 units after a disaster, and we came back yesterday. We're fucking coming back, Jimmy. The climb starts now.
Let's get you back in the black, a sap. LJFMH, okay, so Bet with Jay says, so it doesn't matter what day we bet as long as 1 pick in for the week. Yes, now you can't switch your picks. Once your picks are in, they are locked. The Survivor is just 1 pick for the week and not against the spread, just win or loss. And the other one is 5 picks against the spread. All the rules are there on the website. So go to www.pubsportsradio.com and you'll get all of the info. The deadline for the contest then would be Saturday before week 1, right?
Survivor or just entering in general?
Both.
Yeah, so I would assume, it'd be that Saturday because obviously, like we mentioned, the spreads lock on Wednesday, I believe we said. So the lines will be locked then, and then picks lock on Saturday evening. So, yes.
Yeah, Saturday by 9 p.m., I believe it is Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern. Exciting. Big Show's already signed up. It's going to be fun to battle everyone.
Yes, we do have signups. I have received a text message. I do know some people have signed up already. So shout out to those people. It's going to be very exciting.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much fun to battle against each other, talk about it on our show on Thursdays. I can't wait to see who will be the first winner, because the winner of these contests is going to get paid a shitload of fucking money and bragging rights. What better?
I'll be honest. If I won the contest, I would fucking give away all the money and just live off the bragging rights for the rest of my life. That's all I would want in life. If anytime Dutch makes fun of me, I just be like, hey, Dutch, remember this contest? So it'd make me feel better about myself.
Well, maybe we're going to need some side action. We will discuss side action as well.
Prop markets, who will finish higher? That'd be very, very funny.
We got lots of time to decide that because we got over 2 weeks before we pop off. It's going to be really fun. Bet that with Jay says, let's do it. Some competition really ramps up our capping. That was extremely enjoyable. I've got bets to make. Let's get that cash. Let's get this week started with a glory. Pistol Pete, my friend, we love these Tuesdays with you. You gave a nice, very warm, heartfelt message to Kian on his birthday. Do you have a heartfelt message for all the cappers supporting this show?
Oh, yeah. Just the comments. It makes my life. It's all I ever had. YouTube comments. It's a little pathetic, I know. YouTube comments. Won't you help to read these fucking positive comments? Hell yeah. Shout out to all Lowbaggers, all Pub Sports Radio. Shout out to Slaughter. I'm going to be in these contests, man.
Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Leche. Halos bookmakers.
Get him, Jimmy. Where Loshak at? The bottle's getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips. All of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced. Leave the juice letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies want to call it truth.